a different product that we can use to kind of look at things when it comes to the storm here. And this is just looking at the storm itself in a different view. We've got all these different products that we can look at and view. Right now we're looking at the storm to the north and northeast of Jacksonville. To give you a little reference point here, there's Jacksonville, here's Virginia, there's Philadelphia, Newmansville, Ashland, Tallulah, Berlin, New Berlin. Off behind me is Springfield then. There's an indication that there's some circulation in here, and that warning, as I get that update as far as it goes here, it has been extended. So it is now moving to the south, right into Ashland here. And for whatever reason, my polygon hasn't filled in on this particular product, but we know that that's our circulation now coming in towards the community of Ashland, Tallulah. There you go. There you can see that updated warning that finally pulled on in there. This does not include Chandlerville. This does not include Jacksonville. This is a southeastern Cass County issue, far northern and northeastern Morgan County here. Right there is Interstate 72. You've got the Jacksonville Correctional Facility there. And this storm will be well north of that. On this track, this would be from Springfield north if it continues in that general direction. Just to give you another vantage point of this storm here, again, as this is going to update here, this is a one supercell thunderstorm. Right here is where you see that little hook wrapping around. Your inflow notch is right there. All these red dots, just to give you an idea, are storm spotters that are out there. And they're watching this storm here from Philadelphia down towards Ashland. You take that road, it goes all the way into the north and west side of Springfield there, and it will be something we watch. Let's talk a little bit downstream. First off, I want to say Virginia, Highway 178 down to Jacksonville. We can give you an all clear. This is mainly a southeastern Morgan, southeastern Cass, far northern Morgan County issue. And there's Springfield downstream, moving in east direction here, 25 to 30 miles an hour or so. We'll be coming eventually towards Athens, Sherman, Williamsville, perhaps downstream. Some areas that you'll want to watch here. We think that this storm has a lot of energy to work with. But Jack, as I kind of widen it out a little bit, one, we've got some new warnings popping up, and we've got some more storms we're going to have to watch. This one here to the north of Winchester on the Morgan-Scott County line just across the Illinois River. This one down here south of Pittsfield and Pike County will carry off to the east, and then there's more storms out there. We're here because of the tornado warning, Jack, but there's other warnings, there's other alerts and issues that are going to be a problem here. You may not get the tornado, but you can get that hail and that damaging wind, and that may very well cause a problem, right, Jack?
That's correct, and we actually have a new severe thunderstorm warning that got issued just off to the north of that storm that you've got the warning, the tornado warning on, and it's a much more bigger box here. So as we take a Max 2 full screen, you can see that we've got this new severe thunderstorm warning for Cass, Logan, Mason, and Menard counties for 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1-inch hail. However, there's also the threat there that says at the bottom of that, tornado possible. Now you've got within this line of storms, the storms here don't exactly have all that much in the way of the classic supercell look like it does down to the south with the tornado warning. But what we have here is we've got little indents here within the line of storms itself. When you get those little lines that kind of curve in and out, and I'm going to highlight that here in just a moment, and they kind of look a little wavy like that with little notches here and there, that means that there could be some rotation that does develop kind of along that, and that's why there is the tag there for tornado possible. So what to also look out for this line of storms too as these move off to the east. These ones move off to the east right now at around, just refresh this here, at around 35 miles an hour. So 35 miles an hour for these storms will put us with something like this for a track. And I'll also do a track too for our other storms as well. But this puts us at a track at 35 miles an hour. Nearby Crane Creek at around 526, Tarahan at 540, Saw Creek at 549, potentially Mason City by 557, Luther at 604. So that's just for the line of storms off to the north of the tornado warned storm. But we're going to still have to keep an eye out here for what's going to be occurring here with these tornado warnings. So we have now at 520 just the one tornado warning, and they've, I don't know, Jacob, they may have actually made this one a bit of a wider kind of more.
What they did is they trimmed out Virginia. So we give the all clear to Litterbury and Virginia, that 170 corridor officially.
Okay.
We gave that all clear a few moments ago. It's getting pretty much over Ashland. The time now for Ashland. Look downstream there. Salisbury, Sherman, Athens, some of those areas will likely be down the path. The question is, Jack, whether or not they go with another tornado warning, if they go with a severe thunderstorm warning.
Yes.
We'll be watching that. Still no indication of a tornado down at this time, and at some point we'll want to pull the sky cam up from the back there, but we'll continue to watch, Jack.
Yep. So this is from the tornado warned cell. 521 Ashland, so that's basically right now you should be in your safe spot already. Pleasant Plains, you've got about 9 minutes, 5:30. Athens around 5:52, Sherman at 6:02, and Williamsville at 6:09. This, as of right now, at least based on the track that I've got, takes it to the north of Springfield, but it does get very close to the Riverton area, at least based on the track that I have right now. And when we get a better picture in our latest update, and if we get it more of a, if it's moving more to the east-southeast, we'll be able to kind of tell here whether Springfield is going to be directly impacted. As of right now, it is off to the northwest.
Yeah, I think it'll be a close call for some of the northern suburbs there, Jack. From north of Springfield, maybe the northwest side there, you get out towards, the town that they just had that grain elevator fire in about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Sherman, perhaps. Athens is up that way. But, Jack, one thing to notice, sometimes these storms, as the rotation strengthens, they can sometimes take a little bit of a right turn. So by no means are we saying Springfield's clear. I think that's important to mention here. Real quick, Jack, I want to talk real fast that Jack showed you. There's no warning yet for some of those towns, but you're downstream. We want to give some heads up ahead of the storm because we think it's going to come in the direction. If you do get a tornado warning, you'll immediately want to proceed to your safe place. If you don't have one, think down low, think most interior room. Leave mobile homes. This is not a situation to stay in a mobile home here, even if maybe a tornado doesn't impact you. Strong straight line winds of 70, maybe higher, 70 miles an hour can still cause damage. No driving during tornado warnings here. In fact, folks that are to the north and west of Springfield there will want to watch that here. We encourage you to stop at a nearby gas station, stop at a restaurant. If you can get to a home, a site-built structure, that's a place to go. The three words I like to tell are in, down, and up. In. Think inside, interior, as many walls between you and the outside of your home. No windows, no exterior walls. That might be an interior bathroom, hallway, or a closet. If you can get down, a lot of folks in central Illinois are blessed with basements. That's a great place to be for that. If not, a crawl space or just as low as you can down is the best thing to do here. We want to put as close as you can down to the ground. And in addition, up. The word up stands for cover up. When it comes to tornadoes, the number one cause of injuries and fatalities is head injuries. Cover your head with a bicycle helmet. Wear hard-soled shoes as well. Should something happen, there's damage, you get out. You don't want to have your feet walking on broken glass. We don't have an indication of a tornado now, but we still want you to take those precautions, especially if you're under that tornado warning. And we want you to stay until we give you that all clear. We'll keep tracking this particular storm and any other storms in the area. And of course, watch WCIA 3 coverage online. The thing to note, you may be listening to us on your TV. Turn your volume up all the way, and you can listen to us from your safe spot. Or if you have the WCIA 3 weather app, you have a Facebook page, you're on Twitter, you can follow our live streams on our digital platforms. We're there right now, and we'll stay there with you while the storm is in place. One more thing, Jack, real quick. Cars, mobile homes, or parking under a highway overpass. An absolute worst place to be during a tornado. The overpass as well may be an issue, especially, Jack, as this gets towards I-55 because of the hail threat with this. Cars stopping there under the bridges. That's not a safe thing to do. It's illegal to do that. Continue to move because if you stop traffic and a tornado comes, you got some problems there. That's something we want to avoid. So get out of your car, get to a safe place. We've got insurance for things like that. As far as an open rooms or manufactured housing, that's not a great place to be either. When I mean open rooms, big box market, in that part of the world, there's not a whole lot in the way of that. But the best place is, before Jack, we get you on that new warning that just popped in, interior room or basement of a well-built building. Your home, if it's got a foundation or a basement, get down there. Again, in, down, up. Think those types of things. Of course, a tornado shelter or a safe room is a great place to be. Jack, there was just a new warning issued. This one looks like it's a severe thunderstorm warning for a cell we were watching. Tell us more about where that one is and where it's heading.
So that one right now is for Morgan and Scott counties for your standard 60-mile-per-hour winds as well as 1-inch in diameter hail. Currently basically straight off to the west of Jacksonville, and that does go until 6:15. Now, as I zoom out a little bit, you can tell that
One thing to note, Jack, we've got a confirmed tornado now on that storm observed in Ashland, and so likely that warning is going to be extended. Just saw that cross. Confirmed tornado over Pleasant Plains, 14 miles east of Virginia. That's pretty much Ashland, Claysville, and Tallulah areas. as far as that goes. So now this is escalated a little bit. We've got a confirmed tornado reported on this. I just saw that. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Nope, you're
wanted
good.
to get that information
Yep,
across.
because I just saw it change the color too. So, and actually one of the things I did want to point out here is that we have all these different colors for these counties with the warnings. You've got the pinkish purple for our tornado warning. That is what we're doing nowadays, is when there is a confirmed tornado on the ground, so an observed tornado, we have it coming up as that brighter color, and that way it pops a little bit more. You can get some better visual with that one. You've got also severe thunderstorm warnings that are either kind of an orangey color, and that's the ones that have the tornado possible ones. Like
yeah, Jack, look at the sky cam there real quick.
Yeah.
Off in the distance, we can kind of see that lowering, that maybe where that tornado is here as far as it goes. I just wanted to real quick bring that in. They brought that up. So that's something we're going to watch too, Jack. We'll keep that up while you're talking about those other warnings.
Yeah, and then we've got the other warnings here for, you know, your standard severe thunderstorm warning. Those are going to be more of a yellow, but that's what the different colors are, in case you were wondering. So going to our tornado warned storm here, the one that we have the observed tornado for, we still have that one going to the east at 40 miles an hour. So what we'll do is we'll put a track on that one, and we're going to have it go for the east to 40 miles an hour. Make sure you back up a little bit more here to get that in. And when we go and put that on there, we're going to see that it's probably going to still take it just off to the north of Springfield as of right now. But we still need to make sure that we're nearby areas here are being prepared. So 540 Gardner. This does actually put it into Springfield at 548. It's going to be pretty close there on its eastern track. If it goes straight east, it'll likely pass just to the north, but the northern suburbs of Springfield definitely need to be aware here. We've got your Sherman areas, Mechanicsburg 606, 615 Mount Pulaski, 623 for Niantic. So we're going to watch these storms continue to move off to the east. This one has now picked up a bit of a pace. It was warned initially at around 30 miles an hour. Now we've got it coming in at 40 miles an hour. And actually, can we take max 2? Max 2. There we go. I got the track on there. So if you were kind of wondering what I was saying here, it should pop up. There we go. There we go. So now we've got, again, there's the track that I was kind of saying there. Gardner at 540, Springfield at 548, Mechanicsburg 606, 615 Mount Pulaski, 623 Niantic. This is moving off to the east at 40 miles an hour, and it is observed tornado. So please make sure that you are in your safe space with everything that you need down there, and we will continue to provide you updates. We also have with these storms, for sure with these storms, some very large hail that's been developing too with them. What I'm going to do here is look at our hail sizes, and with those hail sizes here, kind of right over the Tallulah area there, just off to the northwest of Pleasant Plains there, a large hail core with that storm. Zooming out more, you've got, that's pretty much it right now in terms of hail. Maybe some small ones just off to the north of our viewing area. But as of right now, the cell that's got it with the large hail, Tallulah. So zooming out here, giving you the wide picture, this is what we have right now. We have this line of storms that have been coming in now, just approaching kind of the north or the western side of our viewing area, kind of that northwestern edge. It is not to I-55 just yet, but you have a number of these warnings here with the different colors. You've got the orange boxes, which those are severe thunderstorm warnings, but those severe thunderstorm warnings are have the potential tornado within there. So we have to still look out for tornadoes to still potentially pop up within those. We then also have the severe thunderstorm warning. That's for Morgan and Scott counties with 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1-inch hail. That is more of a standard severe thunderstorm warning, still obviously dangerous, but one that does not have the tornado possible tag in it. This one, though, for Petersburg up to Crane Creek, Easton, just off to the west of Greenview, this one has tornado possible within it, and that's why we're looking at that to be still one to watch out for. But obviously, all eyes are on this tornado-warned storm. In addition to that, the 2-inch in diameter hail, big hail with this storm as it moves off to the east at around 40 miles an hour. Jacob, do you have anything?
Yeah, we're going to put the double box up with you there, Jack, and it will come up shortly here. We've been watching the lowering on that, so we'll get that double box here shortly. What we're going to do is continue to watch with this new tornado warning that's in place that just was extended there. And what I want to mention real fast is this now does include parts of North and West Springfield.
Yep, there it is.
It also includes areas to the Athens, between Athens and Springfield. And so this is going to be, we talked a little bit about it, Jack, where maybe it was going to take a little more of a south and a southeast track across the area. So in the back, whenever we're ready with that double box, we'll use that because we're going to want to watch our sky cam in downtown very closely. Let's talk about some of the places that are in this. Highway 125 towards Pleasant Plains. That's the area we want to watch. Highway 97, that takes you up towards Lake Petersburg. Petersburg, you're not in this. Lake Petersburg and Tallulah, likely getting some large hail as we continue to watch this storm move to the east. Then on Highway 29 from Springfield to Athens. And as far as the warning goes itself, it really does include the northern part of Springfield there, including areas from downtown, say the downtown area to the north, up to the State Fair and to the west. But at this point, Jack, if it's a part of Springfield, it's all of Springfield that's a concern. And so we've got that sky cam that we pulled up there, Jack,
so
and we've been watching it very closely. We've got a great view of that storm.
Yep, this is our Flooring America INET camera there, doing a great job this evening, seeing that we can have that that lowering off in the distance. And that lowering that we might be looking at would be potentially the wall cloud of the storm itself. The storm has still going at around 40 miles an hour off to the east. The new warning that it does have for it still has it, like Jacob said, does get it into the northwestern portion of the Springfield area, and it takes it just a little bit west I-55. So it's not the I-55 just yet, but we are going to be watching this one very closely here as it moves off to the east, still at around about 40 miles an hour or so. So if you live anywhere nearby these areas that I'm about to call out, be sure that you're in your safe space. 548, the Springfield Airport, potentially impacted there. It's on the north side of town, so they're going to have to be alerted there. Clear Lake at 557, Mechanicsburg 610, Mount Pulaski 619, 627 in Niantic. And again, these are just the areas that are being called out by our weather program. So if you live nearby these areas, or if you can see where you are in relation to these this polygon here that I've drawn, definitely want to make sure that you're getting ready to go if you're not in your safe space already. We've got to make sure that we've got to be careful with this one because this one is a confirmed tornado. Just a little bit ago at 5:29, it was a confirmed tornado located over Pleasant Plains or 15 miles northwest of Springfield, moving east at around 30 miles an hour. So we've got some new updates with that one. We've got the expiration of the severe thunderstorm warning for Cass, Menard, Morgan, Sangamon counties there at 5:33. So there's probably just kind of recycling a lot of their warnings here. And we're going to stay up to date on this as these keep on moving off to the east here. Kind of take the big picture, just kind of letting everybody know where they are. I-55, they have still, no storms have crossed I-55 yet. So if you live anywhere east of there, you've still got a while. For those of you asking about, your Watseka's all the way down to Casey's, it is going to be a while until it gets there. But Jacob's got some pictures here. We're going to go to him.
Yeah, we got some pictures we want to show you of that storm off to the north and west of Springfield. This is a little bit earlier. Again, that updraft right here. We look really closely in there, and if I zoom in to that picture, what we may see, it's a little blurry, but there's this little bitty notch hanging down here, and there may be a little bit under the ground here. So again, we're watching those storms in the region here. That particular one, it looks like it was near Pleasant Plains earlier. That one came from Jeff Frame, and here was another one near Pleasant Plains that he took. He says that wall cloud is rotating. Jeff is a professor at the University of Illinois, well-trained, very experienced.
He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
And is watching this storm closely here. Also, I got a text from my dad, Jack. He's actually over in Sherman watching too.
Okay.
And so we may try and check in with him later as far as it goes. So we're getting these pictures, and if you've got those pictures and you want to send them our way, let us know. I want to reiterate, since we've had a confirmed tornado touchdown with this, according to the National Weather Service, where do you want to go? Interior room, lowest level of your home, no mobile homes, no manufactured homes, no cars. The tornado shelter, a basement, places like that are the places to be as far as it goes, because we've had a report of a tornado very near Pleasant Plains up near Ashland as far as it goes. And so we're going to keep our eyes on that sky cam as well, Jack. We'll watch it closely here in the back. If you can help us watch it, you start seeing something, let us know, and we'll have it here. There's a lot of real estate though, Jack. Look at all these spots that are out there.
Yep.
not a whole lot happening in parts of the region. And, Champaign probably wants to be watching CBS News tonight. Now, it's 5:35. We're here because our friends in Sangamon County have a confirmed tornado now the warning does include parts of the city of Springfield, not quite to Williamsville. But I tell you what, if this continues off to the east there, it's going to be darn close to that area. Sherman, Williamsville, you get up here south and west of Lincoln. I do want to mention, though, while I'm here, Jack, that warning to the north, the severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible, and then another severe thunderstorm warning includes Jacksonville. That storm may have some hail and some wind with it, too, so we're continuing to watch here and keep our eyes on things as far as it goes. Very much something we're going to watch here closely as I just check some more data real fast and keep our eyes on things. So what I'm going to do real fast, Jack, is I want to take a look at some of these another vantage point of this here and show you this radar to give you an idea. We've got this cluster of storms up here. This is Lincoln, there's Springfield, there's Jacksonville. This is a severe thunderstorm warning that's going to include Menard, Mason, and parts of far western Logan County. We've got then the tornado warning for that storm, which really starting to organize quite a bit here. You see this particular one, Jack. Look at that there.
There you go,
circulation really wrapping in. You got your inflow notch coming in here. Large hail between Tallulah and Athens heading towards Cantrell. The tornado would be on the county line to the north and west of Springfield. I still say Springfield, especially the north side, wants to be in your tornado shelter. Sherman, Williamsville, downstream, we want you to be there, even though the warning not technically for I-55. Draw a straight line here. This storm's on some railroad tracks, and it's continuing off to the east. Another quick check on the Jacksonville storm. We're going to watch all of these storms because they may have the chance for some circulation in them. And I'm just going to switch my product over here, Jack, before we send it back to you. What I'm looking for are reds and greens here near Jacksonville. I don't have an indication of a circulation with this one at this point, but likely from Jacksonville up to the north as you head northern Morgan County to the east of Concord, heading up eventually towards the Virginia area, south and east of Aaronsville, probably going to see some hail. And as I look in here, Jack, more than likely I'll bounce back and forth and just confirm what I'm seeing. It seems like that little circulation. Let's train our eyes right here real fast, and I'll put it back onto the velocity. The circulation itself maybe not as strong as it was earlier, but that doesn't matter because we've had a confirmed tornado with this particular storm, so there is still a circulation. It's to the south and west of Athens, probably no more than a few miles, right on the county line there from Menard County and Sangamon County line to the north of and west of Springfield to the west of Sherman. So that's what we're going to watch as far as it goes. And then if I can, we're just going to keep an eye on this here and watch it.
I want to butt in really quick, Jacob, just really quick.
Yep,
we've got reports from our very own Mark Maxwell that the tornado sirens are going off in downtown Springfield.
Okay, perfect. That's good to hear here.
Yep.
If we can, I'm going to pull up some photos from my dad real fast. He's out there watching. Dad and I have storm chased for a long time around here. This is looking storm. Doesn't look like there's anything down now, but definitely a lot of these scud clouds in place here.
Yeah, and a little bit of a ragged wall cloud looking too, maybe. Yeah,
absolutely. But that circulation still is there. It won't look all that clean. More than likely, my eyes are trained a little bit more into that area as far as it goes. So we'll watch that. Let me see one more picture that he sent. This was a little bit earlier. And you can kind of see how perhaps there's some lowering right here maybe that's watched, but I also see on the edge of the screen maybe something there. So spotters are out watching this, and you're probably watching at home as far as it goes with these little circulations that are in place. So Jack, we're going to continue to watch this confirmed tornado earlier that was on the ground near Pleasant Plains. Ashland is all clear from that storm. Really, I think Pleasant Plains is either. This is now getting into the north and northwest side of Springfield, eventually Sherman, Williamsville, this storm coming for you. We've got other storms to watch too as far as it goes. So Jack, I'm going to let you do a little more analysis and tell us more what you're seeing, and we'll continue to follow this tornado warning with a confirmed tornado at one point in parts of Sangamon and Menard County now.
Yep, so I just want to go now to that warning on here just to make sure that we've all got a track on there. Again, now at the, first off though, new kind of update with that one, 2.5-inch hail. Also with that one. So that is tennis ball sized hail. That is a big hail maker. Actually, I was going to show some velocity, but let's turn on our hail sizes there. That's a big one. You've got maybe not exactly the brightest colors there. There aren't any purples and pinks that are showing up there just yet. But what this does mean is it's probably have been cycling. So if you kind of back up here, you can kind of see its lifespan here. It's gotten pretty strong, kind of hails itself out, then kind of gets a little strong again. So this one is maybe just cycling here with this. So let's go back to our warnings. We've got the warning now that we have until 6 o'clock, and this one is now in Menard, Sangamon counties. Still an observed tag with this one, and we're going to put a track on it. Still moving off to the east at around 30 miles an hour. So let me put another track on it. Put it kind of right there from the notch. And again, we've been showing these things, showing the kind of path with this storm here the past couple times. Even if your city is not called out, please be in your safe spot. The Springfield Airport, as it goes through kind of the northern side of town there. Clear Lake, and also in Springfield itself too. Be sure that you're in your safe spot. Clear Lake at 6 o'clock, 6:17, Mechanicsburg, 6:30, Mount Pulaski, and Niantic, 6:39. Again, this is if it's still moving off to the east at 30 miles an hour. These will obviously kind of change our speed there, as it could potentially be increasing in strength. Sometimes they speed up, sometimes they slow down a little bit too. These times are approximate still, though. Make sure that you are in your safe spot. We are kind of doing some things here in the back end, so I'm going to keep on going here with it. This line of storms is the southern end of a line of showers and storms that go all the way up into Wisconsin. And the reason why we are focusing in so much on the southern end of these storms, this line of storms, is because there's nothing down here to impede these storms from gobbling up a lot of energy. They are able to remain very strong because of the fact that they're able to get all this unused air. The sunshine came out, it is very warm, it is very humid, and as a result of that, they have been able to strengthen here. And so that's what we have right now. Usually it's the case where you have a line of storms that the southern tip of it is going to be the strongest one. That's what we have. We also have to watch out for still these little cells down off just outside of our viewing area, because these ones are still in an area that is untouched. This is an area that's got the potential here for these storms to get strong, so we're going to watch out for that one. So we got our warning for Jacksonville, the Jacksonville area there. This one goes until 6:15 for Morgan counties. That one is your standard 60-mile-per-hour winds as well as 1-inch in diameter hail. Going on up, you've got our tornado warnings for Cass, Menard, Morgan, Sangamon counties for the next 2 minutes with that warning, and then our main one here until 6 o'clock for Menard and Sangamon counties, with also big hail too with those ones. And then we have this northern storm. This northern storm is a severe thunderstorm warning. However, there is also a kind of essentially an asterisk with this one, with tornado possible. It's got 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch in diameter hail. And the reason why that is the case is because sometimes within these little notches, within these little kind of in and out sections there of the initial line of the storm, you can get some circulation that does bubble up along there. And sometimes you can get a brief little circulation, a brief little tornado that could happen. So that's why we are looking out for that to be the case there with the tornado possible tag on those storms. We've got them all kind of moving off to the east or so at around 40, 30, and the hail remains an issue with the tornado warned storm right just to the north of Salisbury, very close now, just off to the west of Athens, and that's also where the tornado warning is too. So that's where the large hail is. Again, you can kind of see it's on the northwestern edge of the Springfield metro area, just outside of the Sangamon County area, and we're going to continue to see how these ones progress here. So again, we've got these essentially 3 warnings for storms here. Now, these are not very fast-moving storms. They're pretty slow. And so as a result of that, we're going to likely see definitely a lot of rain with that one too. Jacob's going to take over now. He's got some good pictures of the Springfield Flooring America iNet camera as the wall cloud is pretty close.
Yeah, let's take a look at that here, Jack. And if you can help me out, Jack, I've got on Max 1 for Jack only here to move that around and look here. We're looking at that base of the storm as it approaches the Springfield area, and we're going to watch closely here. Jack, we're going to have a great vantage point of this if it drops down. So I'd like to pan a little more to the left as we look a little more west, northwest, and then I'd like to pan a little bit back here as far as it goes. Again, we're looking on that camera there. You can kind of see where this rain-free bases here, looking off to the north and west of Springfield. This here is a dark area that's that Jacksonville storm. So we're primarily looking off here more in a north and northwest direction. The reason I can tell that, the flag on top of the Capitol building there, that is a south wind in place. I just looked at the observation. Springfield Airport reports 75 with the dew point is 64. It's juicy. The atmosphere has instability. We've gotten just enough sunshine today to kick things off with a bang, and that's where we're going. Jack, if we can, let's pan a little more to the right just to make sure we're looking at everything here and getting a full vantage point of this as far as it goes. And we want to watch and keep an eye on that here again. Our weather cameras that we've got, fantastic to have. We love being able to partner with communities and businesses to have those here, and we're really thankful for the Flooring America Weather iNet camera here. So if we can, then we'll take a little more of a right turn here before long, and then I want to show you some video in a second of that as we continue to watch and look in this rain-free base here as far as it goes. Again, this is north and northwest of Springfield. It's likely heading towards now Sherman, eventually making it towards Williamsville here as we watch this rain-free base. No indication of anything down now, but if it does go down, we're going to have a great vantage point of this right here. Now, if you look in the back here, we're getting that focus to make sure it's looking good here. The back, you see some of those light shades of gray. That's the large hail from this supercell thunderstorm. Again, they're warning this for hail that's the size of tennis balls with that, and we've had a couple of reports of some hail in parts of Cass County of up to ping pong ball size hail, as this storm now knocking on the doorstep of Sherman and Williamsville with some very large hail. I expect momentarily a new tornado warning to come out. That will probably be southern Logan, northeastern Sangamon County for that one here as we continue to watch as far as it goes. Real quick, Jack, before I send it back to you, this came from Andrew Pritchard. This was as the storm was near Pleasant Plains, and you can see this is what that circulation is right here. Look at that twisting. You can see the motion of that rotating wall cloud. And this spin up right here gives us an indication that there is a tornado that made contact with the ground, even though we don't see a condensation funnel in place. Perhaps what's happening is the air just a little dry for this storm to fully condense down, but with that ground circulation, that's enough confidence is why we have this confirmed tornado warning that's in effect. As far as it goes elsewhere in the region, as we continue to watch this Springfield camera here, as those clouds are really whipping around here, likely that new warning will come out momentarily. I want to mention, if you're watching us at home, you got folks that live near Sherman, Williamsville, places like that, you'll want to send them a text. We're all in this together here, letting folks know what's going on. We're focusing only on the areas that are impacted. That means Champaign-Urbana, nothing going on right now. It's a nice evening here, but these storms are moving in our general direction as we continue to watch that camera. So if we can in the back, before we send it back to Jack, even if we put the Skycam in a small box, I want to keep our eyes on this on air as much as we can, and that way we are constantly watching it. If something drops, we'll see it, we'll bring it full. Very important to us at this point to use those weather iNet cameras to the maximum extent here, especially with such a great vantage point on this storm as it now is located due north of Springfield, between Springfield and Athens. The large hail from Sherman to Williamsville going to cause some problems in the interstate there as far as it goes. So again, Jack, I'm going to send it back to you, but Control, we'll double box this if we can and have that ready to go, because we're going to have a great shot here if something does drop down just to the north of Springfield, and we'll watch it, Jack. We'll get you on here with an update that's probably coming any second now, but there's some motion that's under there. That's why I want to keep our eyes on it, right, Jack?
That's right. Yep. And let's take a look at get our velocity up here. It's been a little bit since we've looked at that. Yeah. So we've got the circulation here. I'd say right about there. Looks a little messy. Looks a little messy with our velocity, but you've got our area of broad rotation, and we still have seen the observed tag on this storm as it moves off to the east. So our velocity is probably right about there somewhere, and so maybe even a few other little spin-up zones here. It's not exactly the clearest view with that, but as you can see, you've got some of those those different colors there representing the winds going towards and away from the radar. But you also have some of the brighter colors as well, either a brighter red or a brighter green or a darker red, signifying that there's going to be some stronger winds within this as well too. Also our hail as well, still going to be an issue there. Again, just to the north of the airport, right there, right by Green Acres, just south of Athens is a large hail core that's approaching and it's probably over parts of Illinois 29. So this is going to be an issue with our storm too, the hail issues there. So we're going to keep on watching this. Let me save a couple of these views here. That way we don't get lost. And here we go. So we still have our 3 warnings. Our 3 warnings. And again, the reason why we're kind of, seems like we're going a little slow, might be kind of wondering, well, they're saying the same things. We're just kind of waiting for the latest updates. That being said, though, is that when you have a confirmed tornado on the ground, we've got to watch it. Our Springfield camera, we're still keeping an eye on it. This is going to provide us with a amazing view of this storm.
And what's amazing about these two, Jack, is how normally sometimes storms roll through.
And we can put it up right now, guys, the sky cam.
Yeah, I think they're trying to work on the double box in the back, so do what you need to, and we can get that figured out. If you can, don't use the Weather Max computer as a source. If we can use the Weather Metrics, the SkyCam source instead, that way we can still have access to both computers. That's the same shot, though. The view, though, really stellar on here. If you're ahead of the storm, though, we still want you to take shelter. We'll show you it on TV with this camera. We'll have to be able to follow it there. We've been seeing some little fingers trying to dip down and keep an update as far as it goes. But likely, Jack, I'm assuming that new tornado warning coming any moment.
We've got a trained weather spotter from Athens reported to Sherman Fire Department, to the Sherman Emergency Manager. Tornado on the ground at Irvin River Bridge and Cantrell Creek Roads.
And what I'm going to do here, Jack, is that earlier video made me believe that maybe we're seeing a ground circulation and not having a condensation funnel.
Yeah.
And so we're really going to zoom in here and take a look and see what's going on. Now notice it's really shaky. I wish I could do something about that, but I know y'all have complained about the wind, and we're going to complain about it here too, but there's something that has my eye in that particular shot as we're looking in Springfield in that area. And I'm maybe, as we look here, if we can pull me onto the chroma key real fast, maybe that's going to be right in here, something trying to come down. It's a little shaky, but we're having a view. Ideally, we'd see something make it all the way. But with the emergency management, the fire department reporting a tornado down there by Cantrell Road, that's going to be an issue for this particular storm. So we've got a view. We're looking at it. There may very well be a circulation under here. This is about 10 to 15 miles north of town as far as it goes, Jack. So we're going to watch that here and keep an eye on it as far as it goes. We'll say this, just some housekeeping notes, Jack, before we got that new warning that just came out here. For the back, we're going to continue on through the newscast, but as long as our newsroom is watching for reports on social media, keeping things updated, that'll be helpful. I know they're doing a great job behind us. We're going to be cutting through the 6 o'clock show here, it seems like, with this new tornado warning. Then we're going to have meteorologist Jack Gerfen cover at the Weather Pod, and he's going to break it down, talk about who's in, who's out, what we're seeing. Still a hail and a tornado threat with this particular storm as far as it goes. So Jack, I'm going to toss it to you in the Weather Pod if we can, and we'll use that as far as it goes. So Jack, what's up with this new warning?
Okay, so new warnings coming in here, and we've got it as still a tornado warning. Now what we're going to do here is, when you can kind of see it here, you've got the different colors there. So the new warning is a red tornado warned box, which means that it is radar indicated. That's a little bit of a difference there than the kind of the purple one that we had for the observed one. Radar indicated means that there's not necessarily one currently on the ground. The observed one means that we have seen it. Either the radar is picked up on debris lofted up into the air, or someone has spotted it. And that was the case before someone had spotted it. So with this new warning, right now it goes until 6:15, Logan, Menard, Sangamon counties, radar indicated, but this storm obviously has a history of producing tornadoes, and also for large hail as well. This one's moving off to the east now at around 35 miles an hour. So with the tornado and potentially golf ball sized hail with this storm, moving off to the east at around 35 miles an hour. I'm going to put another track on it from the area that we need to do right there, and go 35 miles an hour. So Riverton area coming in at just before 6 o'clock at 5:59. We've got Mechanicsburg 6:13. We've got Illiopolis coming in at 6:26. Booty at 6:45, and then if it holds together, the Decatur area coming in at around 6:53. So that's going to be one of the things that we'll have to look out for is, can it still hold together to keep on going closer and closer into more of the central portions of our viewing area. Right now it's been pretty much more of a western storm, a western show here with it. So zooming out, you've got still our small little thunderstorm warning for parts of just off to the west now, or just off to the east now, Jacksonville, north of Alexander, from Morgan County until 6:15. You got a few more minutes left of that one. We've got our new tornado warnings with this one for Logan, Menard, Sangamon counties until 6:15. And we've got still have our severe thunderstorm warning with the potential for a tornado to be impacted or embedded in there, I should say, for Logan, Mason, and Menard counties. These are our storms here. They are moving off to the east at around 40 miles an hour. They're very close to the radar, so we're going to have a great view of these with everything that we need to see with them. Our velocity, as you can see, we've got, again, a little bit of the couplet here showing up in terms of our inbound and outbound winds right there, kind of right over the Sherman area there, that we might have the rotation being picked up by our radar. And also our hail, too, is going to be large right over the Sherman area, too. So latest update just came on through for the hail core. Looks like that one has kind of shrunk a little bit. It's a little bit smaller. But velocity still remains there as the inbound and outbound winds going into the radar, which is in Lincoln, and going away from the radar, how we have those that area of rotation there. Again, we have this new warning is now for radar indication, so that's why we have our that as a red box showing up as the fact that the storm is capable of producing a tornado. There's not one being seen currently as of the moment. Now, as you can see with our double boxes here, we have our Skycam up with our Flooring America INET camera from Springfield, again providing us a great vantage point of the storm, which is off to essentially straight to the north of Springfield. Now, that's the one that we are watching for. Now, a little bit more to the northeast with our storm, and that's where we're looking at with our Flooring America INET camera. It's been showing a lot of interesting cloud shapes, as well as what we were most notably looking at was the lowering of the base, the wall cloud where you have a tornado, that's where it comes out of, and that's what we have and basically have looking at right now. So great view from our Springfield camera, but we're going to keep on trucking on with our warnings. Jacob, you're in the back. Everything good back there?
Yeah, we're just kind of making sure we've got to keep that camera up as much as we can, because doing some focusing and making sure it's working and whatnot here, so it may get a little blurry at times, but if something happens, we're going to see it right here live on TV as far as it goes. We will be hearing from Mark Maxwell soon, more than likely. He's in Springfield. Of course, now we can start giving some all clear, I think, to Springfield as this moves well north of town, but we're going to watch that closely here and to keep an eye on it. So we haven't had any damage reports, but there still is reports of rotation with this particular storm as it pushes off to the east. Real quick, Jack, if we can, I'd like to give an all clear to folks that live on 29 north of Springfield from this particular storm. This now located on 124 just south of Sherman, about ready to cross I-55. That camera looking up in that general direction as far as it goes. And so we'll watch that there, keeping an eye on those other storms as well. The storm now to the east of Jacksonville is near Alexander exit. That's Highway 123 and 72. Still has some hail. Not overly concerned about it right now for tornado, as you're still watching those storms coming into Logan County. We're watching for you, Lincoln. We're watching for you, Broadwell. We're keeping an eye on you in New Holland, Illinois 10, I-55 by the I-155 split, Lincoln area. We'll watch that and see if there's an update, but primarily the focus will be for what we're looking at on TV now with the storm in northern Sangamon County. In fact, before I send it back to you, Jack, they did just drop that Morgan County warning near Alexander. So, Jack?
And then also, too, we've also have just another minute or two left of the initial severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag on it. The Logan, Mason, Menard County one, the northern warning. That one is going to be expiring here within the next minute or so as well. And it's getting very close to the radar. In fact, If you wouldn't mind taking my Max 2 up full screen here just for a brief little second, we kind of want to show a very interesting feature here. Since the radar is so close, it's able to kind of bend the bands of our storm a little bit, so it looks a little weird as it approaches the Lincoln area. So that's what we're going to be looking out for to potentially kind of obscure the view of what is actually happening. It's great that these storms are close to the radar. However, if it's too close, and if it goes right over the radar, then we kind of lose it. There's the cone that we can't really see it through. So that's why it's kind of bending around. Looks really weird right there because the storm is approaching the radar. So we've got, okay, there we go. So everything is now cleared out. We now are left with currently just one warning. The warning for Logan, Menard, Sangamon counties that goes until 6:15. This one is radar indicated, and it still has very large hail with it as well. Most of the hail has been located nearby the Sherman area, and now currently it's actually just a little bit off to the east of Sherman. Just actually to the north of Riverton actually is where the hail core is looking to be at its most intense. You've got our velocity coming up here, and this one has now a little bit of a better view here. You've got a definite mixture here. Maybe we can take me full screen. There we go. Thank you. We've got the mixture there of our reds and our greens. That is our rotation, and we've got them pretty close. So that's actually a very good-looking rotation on our radar-indicated tornado warning right there. So very close to the Sherman area. And really quick, just don't want to forget about where we are at here. I am going to put a track on it. Things are still moving to between about 30 and 40 miles an hour. It's about 35, so let me put another track on that. Okay, and let me just name these cities here really fast, and then we're going to give it to control because they've actually got Mark Maxwell on the line. So Mechanicsburg 6:15, Illiopolis 6:26, Booty 6:45, and if it goes all the way to Decatur 6:53 in the airport at just before 7 o'clock. We're going to go now to our very own Mark Maxwell. He's on the phone, and he's going to be able to explain or he's actually live, excuse me. He's actually live, and he's going to have an update there. Mark, what have you seen so far?
West side of Springfield, just near the Abraham Lincoln Capitol Airport, just outside. We saw some strong, menacing winds and clouds, rather, just move into this side of the outskirts of town about 10 minutes ago. Right on the tail edge of that, you're seeing now the effects with all the rain that is starting to come down. And these raindrops are big. They're pelting windshields right now. I'm watching drivers pump the brakes, take it a little bit slower than they normally would. The rain has relented here in the last 2 or 3 minutes a little bit. It was coming down a lot harder just a minute ago, but our eyes are on the skies as we watch with those tornado warnings to see what might come down. We were actually heading out farther west to see what the weather might have looked like out near Ashland or those areas when we started to see just the menacing clouds sweeping through this area. So we set up shop here on Veterans Parkway, again, just on the outskirts of the town, about 10 minutes from downtown Springfield here. We heard tornado warnings, or those sirens rather, going off, I would say maybe 15, 20 minutes ago roughly. And it's moving through here pretty quickly on the heels of that siren. That's just a look at some of the visuals. We've sent in some of the video from a few minutes ago. You may have some of that, but that's what the scene looks like here so far. We have not spotted from our vantage point any kind of a funnel cloud or anything like that, but we are out here keeping an eye on what we can see from our vantage point to be the most aggressive formation of the storm.
Thank you, Mark. And again, we're going to really appreciate your actual eyes on what you've seen there, and if we get any information in terms of any damage, we're going to let you know, and we'll be able to then potentially get that information out to the public in the form of some pictures. And as always, send us our pictures, WCIA.com. We've got our stream going on there as well if you're not nearby your TV, and so we're just going to keep on going. 6:03, I know normally we'd be on our newscast right now, but again, with a storm with a tornado warning on it, and at times has had a confirmed tornado report along with it. This is a dangerous storm. We had to keep our eye on it. We're going to be kind of tweaking back and forth our weather camera from our Flooring America iNet camera from Springfield to be able to get vantage points here, and also to making sure that we provide you with any more updates. Right now, Jacob, this is the only warning I've got, and I don't think we're really going to see much else here for a little bit. The interesting thing is that the storms are kind of going right over the radar currently in Lincoln. So we get the we're essentially kind of it's our blind spot. And so we're going to kind of see how those storms go through the Lincoln area. But Jacob, we're going to go over to you now at the green screen. You've got some latest information there.
Yeah, we're continuing to watch this. I just wanted to mention this one warning you talked about, Jack, here. Has crossed I-55 about where the Sherman exit is here. Of course, there's the old 66 split there. You've got Highway 54 that takes you to the north and to the east. Highway 54 runs up to Mount Pulaski. Folks that live in that area are under the warning. Be to the north of Mechanicsburg, along and north of Interstate 70. What you're seeing here on the left is, on the right of your TV, I should say, my left, your right, is that Skycam in Springfield, that weather camera, and we're keeping our eyes on that. I'd like to suggest, Jack, that maybe the storm is either cycling or starting to weaken just a little bit by looking at some things. And I'm going to switch around some of the products here to kind of give you another view of why I think that may be the case. You still have that hook there, and this is still a dangerous storm, but more than likely it may be cycling. What we've got here, these greens showing in, I think that may be some inflow that's picking up a little bit with that particular tornado warning, and so that's something that may mean we kind of go down and then we come back up. We play this game of cyclic supercell thunderstorm as far as it goes, as this storm moves more to the north and east of the camera there as far as it goes. I want to say areas west of I-55, we can give it the all clear. That's including the airport, Athens. We've got Highway 29. That looks like Highway 124. Pretty much west of 55 is good from this storm. There is more heavy rain moving in, perhaps some lightning there, but our one warning is for this one here. And I would like to put a bug in newscast that what may happen is if this trends, we may go back to the newscast. That's a fair possibility at this point. And if that were to happen, just for some housekeeping purposes, we'll go to a commercial break and then come back. But still, we're staying here until this storm is either no longer warned or the storm itself dissipates. One of the two we hope happens, but with the atmosphere that's in place today, may not be what we look at. I'm going to look here at our debris tracker. We haven't really used it much because we haven't seen anything on it, but it's a great tool for us to kind of peek at and get an idea here. These colors of reds, pretty solid indication that there's no debris being lofted. You see these blues here, I think that's inflow that's being pulled in maybe, so we'll have to watch and see if this doesn't cycle back up. But that red color, especially in the area of that hook echo, really what it tells us is that all of the particles that the radar beam is sampling are correlated. They're all the same. There's no indication of things being lofted that are damaged or debris, anything like that. And then we've got the camera that's behind me here that we're still watching, the fantastic vantage point. In fact, right now, if you look at this camera, you start seeing some raindrops coming across the screen as some other showers are rolling into the Springfield area. And so I'll go ahead and just pop that back and we'll give a view of the area here. Just to make sure, yeah, some showers and rolling into Springfield as far as it goes here. On the back side, not warned, just some rain as far as it goes, some thunder and lightning. The severe thunderstorm now is located, with the possible tornado located over and perhaps a little east of Highway 54. Illinois 54, it starts at the State Fairgrounds, goes all the way up to the north and east, takes you all the way up to Interstate 57 if you want to take that here. And the feature that I think maybe this is not done yet, Jack, where that inflow is here, I'll zoom in, if I can get my finger on the right one here, using a computer on the roll here to make things happen. What we'll do is if we can bring me full screen real quick before we toss to Jack, and that way I can just kind of point out some of these things here. We're not really getting a classic big-time severe weather signature from these. These are more low precipitation, low top type of thunderstorms as far as it goes. Not necessarily low top, but low precipitation. So we don't see a lot of rain wrapping around, but if you can make out right there, maybe that hook echo indicating that maybe that circulation somewhere in here. It's awfully messy. It's hard to tell, but we're watching that. There's that rain-free base, that blue color we were looking, that inflow coming in here. So very much along Interstate 72 and north of that could be seeing some of that as a possibility. As I check some of my other products, pretty much right now, right over Dawson or right over right to the west of Buffalo. Be near Riverton, stay in your shelter. Spalding, stay in your shelter. Old US 36, that takes you into Decatur, stay in your shelter. Williamsville, I think we can give you an all clear from this storm. Sherman as well. Spalding and Riverton, give me a couple more minutes just to make sure we're clearing it to the east. But then right here you've got Dawson, you've got Buffalo right there. This is Old 36. There's Highway Interstate 72, that is. Mechanicsburg is right there. Springfield just off to the left of the screen. And so we'll watch this tornado threat closely here. The one warning we have, and we'll stay with it here as far as it goes. Other than that, Jack, Just some other showers and thunderstorms rolling on through parts of Logan County. And down to the south, we're continuing to watch that rotation with this particular storm here. This is the one we're going to focus on, and we're going to keep with here for now. But Jack, you're watching other things. You're watching rotation. The hail and wind also is an issue with this. Tell us more about what you're seeing from your vantage point.
Yep. So I got velocity pulled up right now. And again, we've been kind of pointing out the fact that maybe it's trying to do a little bit of some cycling here. We still have our inbound and our outbound winds, the reds and the greens close together, signifying that there could be some circulation. That's the reason why we have this tornado warning. But we have the continuation here of this warning for another 6 minutes. We're still calling it a radar-indicated tornado warning. There has been a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located over Cornland, or 14 miles northeast of Springfield, still moving to the east at around 35 miles an hour. And another local storm report just came in 2 miles west-northwest of Pleasant Plains. That was actually at 5:30 reported a tornado. So we're starting to get some more information about what has happened in the past. We'll still keep watching for brand new updates here. But we technically only have 5 more minutes left of our tornado warning. And we've got a pretty interesting picture here from Springfield, as the off to the distance you still have some of your sunset, but you have the heavy rain hitting the city right now, the winds blowing around our camera on top of the building there, looking at the Capitol as that storm is coming on through. These are just the rain showers. The tornado warned portion of it is now to the northeast of Springfield, but definitely kind of that circulation is probably just north of I-72, not by a little bit, just a few miles there. We've got it very close to probably the east of the Barclay area, to the northeast of Riverton. And this thing is still moving off to the east at around 35 miles an hour. So we'll still put a track on it to make sure that, don't forget about that safe space. Make sure you're in your spot right now. If you are nearby these locations, Mechanicsburg at 6:15, Illiopolis at 6:29, Booty at 6:46, potentially Decatur at 6:54, and then Long Creek at 7:02, should it still keep on holding together. But the latest kind of look here with our velocity, and I'm gonna minimize that and just kind of essentially go back in time with our velocity. It's might not be looking as impressive as it once did before. We had a lot better view there, and now especially it's looking to be potentially weakening even a little bit more. So we're going to keep on watching this. Could it be a cycle where it kind of comes back and forth? It definitely could be, but it's definitely seen a weakening trend here with that. But we're still watching that. We're still watching the hail threat with that one too. Again, just off to the north of I-72, kind of north of Mechanicsburg there, a nasty hail core that's going to be kind of right there along Illinois 54 between Spalding and Lake Fork. That area there has got a large area of some pretty intense hail. We're going to keep on watching that one too. But we have another 3 minutes left of our warning, and our warning goes until 6:15. Still also want to keep an eye on any spots down the line too. If this becomes more of a severe thunderstorm warning, which potentially could happen here, it may still have the tornado possible tag on it, which means that still a tornado could be possible with it. But Jacob, you've got a few more little tidbits of information here.
Yeah, I'm going to use here at the quad shot and show you a little more of this radar. Again, we're kind of getting as many different looks as this as we can, using different products, different radars, different views, and of course looking at reports. That circulation, Jack, here, you kind of make it out. It does look a lot weaker.
Yeah.
These reds and greens, though, still an indication, something going right over 130, old 36, that is, between Dawson and Buffalo. Downstream, then Lanesville, even Mechanicsburg, you're in that polygon. We'd like you to take shelter. At this point, Spalding, Riverton, Springfield, all clear for you from this particular storm. There are more off to the south and west not warned. We'll watch it. Highway 54 for Buffalo Heart up towards Lake Fork, Mount Pulaski, all clear for you. This primarily now coming into the eastern part of Sangamon County from Dawson to the east. And you mentioned, Jack, downstream, Decatur in that last update. If it does make it that far, we did switch our cameras from Springfield to Decatur there, and when we send it back to you, Jack, we'll be able to look at that. Just wanted to let you know that as far as it goes. Real quick, I'm going to try and pull up another picture from my dad. He is out there now sending me updates. In fact, this is what's interesting to me here, Jack, is this may be the tornado. Notice right here, this
Where was that at?
It's hard to see. If we could bring that full screen perhaps in the Max computer. what we'll do here, and he's calling me because I think we've got something down. So if we can bring Max 1 full screen so we can look at this in detail a little more, and then I'll send this to the news image. You're looking there in the center at what may be a ground circulation, perhaps underneath that wall cloud as far as it goes. So this may very well be a new tornado. You can see that's Interstate 72 right there, Jack. That's going to be, I think, the Spalding or downstream for that exit. So more than likely, we've got another tornado down with that. I'm going to call him real quick, Jack. I'll send it back to you. We'll keep that Decatur camera up, and I'll report what we've got.
Yep, because we got a new warning right now anyways, so we can take it now onto Max 2, so we don't have to watch his screen. He's calling the mayor of Gibson City. So Storm Tracker Doppler, we've got our new warning on it for, again, this is now down in our southern part of our viewing area from Macoupin County until 7 o'clock, 60-mile-per-hour winds. This one has just kind of popped up here. It's a little bit of a stronger one. Kind of putting the loop on it, you can tell that it wasn't very much of a storm, and then boom, it did kind of get pretty strong there initially. So these are kind of picking up in intensity. Zooming out, you've got it as the southern storm. And in fact, now that it's 6:15, we have our tornado warning has been taken away for our storm. It's not being replaced with anything yet. We're going to wait and see what happens with this one. But we've had, this storm has had numerous reports of tornadoes with it. And so we're just going to kind of hold on here for just a moment. I know we don't have a tornado warning currently, but I want to see what the National Weather Service does. If they give it just a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag with it, if they give us a new warning, I'm just going to try to kind of wait here for just a few more moments. This has been on the southern end of a long line of showers and storms that have gone up to the state line. For locations that are not, we've been talking a lot about the Springfield area currently. You can see that there's just regular rain showers from essentially McLean County to the north. So we're going to be looking at some of the thunderstorms to be entering portions of Macon County, DeWitt County, Piatt counties here pretty soon. This storm has kind of turned a little bit more to the east-southeast, which sometimes is indicative. Okay, here we go. An observed tornado for now, Logan, Macon, Sangamon counties until 6:45. So, guys, unfortunately here with the newscast, we're going to be on this one for a bit longer. Thank you for holding down the fort and staying with us. Was this report from the mayor?
Jack, it may have been, but there's another chaser that reported too. So I'm going to get a video, and when I get that, we're going to show that. So hopefully he will send me the video as quickly as we can. This confirmed tornado near Mechanicsburg, Jack. It was cycling up here as far as it goes, and that is going to include parts of far northern Christian and Macon County. So let's talk about who is in and who's out, and I'll try and get that video and keep updated on there as far as it goes.
I'll keep on going. So again, this is the velocity. Again, it's still not exactly the greatest looking couplet there, but it's there, and it's been able to produce what we think has been potentially a weak tornado, but a tornado nonetheless. And so this one goes now until 6:45, and this one is moving off to the east at around 35 miles an hour. So the 35-mile-per-hour approximation is a good one to use here with this one. So here we go with our tracker. And so Illiopolis, 628, Booty, 644, Decatur, 652, 658 at the Decatur Airport, and then 712 in Laplace if it keeps on going on through. We're going to be keeping an eye on this storm. It's been able to spin up tornadoes at times. It's also got some large hail with it too. Still just to the north of I-72, right there nearby the Illiopolis area, the Barclay area, just to the east of Barclay and Riverton by a few miles. That is where we are looking at our hail core to be the largest with this one. But still with the velocity here, you've got the inbound and the outbounds. They're very strong winds regardless, but just the couplet that's being picked up there. Again, it's not exactly the best looking one, but it's there. It's there. And we'll turn on our regular radar view here to show you still that got that little inflow notch that you can still kind of see there. That inflow notch is like the picture of that Jacob showed, was very, very close to the interstate, just to the north of the interstate. So there's a little inflow notch right there. That's where our tornado most likely would be. That's why we have seen some reports not only from just a couple spotters. We've actually seen reports of confirmed tornadoes there. So that's why the National Weather Service is keeping on with this warning as it goes. Again, until 6:45, observed tornado. Let's see here. What else can we show? A lot of lightning with these storms, too. These storms have been prolific lightning makers. Also, some heavy rains as well. But you can still see it's still off on the western side of our viewing area. So these storms are not moving very fast. They've been moving around anywhere between 30 and 40 miles an hour. And this one has 35-mile-per-hour winds with it. The National Weather Service also is going to continue our severe thunderstorm watch until 9 o'clock, too. Just want to pass that along as well. But Jacob, you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm going to be on the key if I can here and show you that photo again one more time. I just talked to Dad. He says he's watching 2 areas of circulation. This is that photo. We're going to post this on our Facebook page. It came from my dad. He's out there. Dad and I have chased for years together here in central Illinois. He's sitting at 72 following this. Says there may be 2 areas of circulation. What you're looking at right here, that circulation on the ground, it looks like it's perhaps just to the north from that vantage point. As I zoom out a little bit, it looks like it's just on the north side of 72. Interstate 72, this thing is moving to the east, coming down the road towards Haines and Illiopolis. In fact, in Illiopolis, here's the movie. I'm going to play that movie real quick if I can and see if we can get that. So here you can see it right there. This just came in from eastern Sangamon County of the circulation, the tornado down. There it is. Look at those cars on I-72. We want nobody driving from Decatur to Springfield. This confirmed tornado now from my dad. He's out there, and there you can see it, Jack. Look how impressive that is here.
Oh, yeah.
Of that circulation. Now notice there's nothing making contact to the ground, but we know it's spinning up here. It's a little dry for the circulation. This is new video we're just watching right now of that tornado that's down here, the confirmed tornado from the National Weather Service. You don't want to be driving like these folks are here. So we're looking at this at the same time as you are. This confirmed tornado now in Sangamon County. In fact, I'll play it one more time before we send it back to you, Jack. This video, and then if I can, either Paul or Jennifer, I'll airdrop this to you, and News can take this from us and watch this. Look at that. That circulation now of what's a tornado down now in eastern Sangamon County. This is just moments ago. You're seeing this as we've gotten it, literally less than 5 minutes ago here, heading towards Illiopolis. If you're in Illiopolis, the time is now to shelter from this storm downstream. Niantic, Harristown, Mount Auburn, Osborneville, I should say, just west of Decatur. But Decatur, this is coming your way as far as this goes. So we want to watch this circulation very closely. We know it's producing tornadoes. It's produced a number of them, Jack. We've had, I think, up to 3 or 4 reports already here from this one tornadic storm all by itself, and likely this is going to continue going through the area. So I'm going to send it back to you, Jack. We'll get this distributed on our digital platforms. But I got to say, if you know anyone west of Decatur towards Niantic, Harristown, Illiopolis especially, and along 72 towards the south, then this tornado is down. We need you to take shelter, as we've seen just now video of that, Jack.
Yep. So the warning now, Christian, Logan, Macon, Sangamon counties. What it's maybe doing here is it's going to be taking it probably very close to the Decatur area right now. We're kind of noticing it's almost kind of turning a bit more to the southeast, which for the storm motion, when the storm itself turns right, that usually means that it's beginning to strengthen a little bit. And since the warning was now pretty much straight east and now might be turning a bit more with a southerly component with it as well, that makes sense that we now have another reconfirmed tornado report with it. The storm is probably cycling and has been able to strengthen up enough to drop circulation on the ground. So that's why we're going to time things out here once again. We've got our beautiful Carriage Crossings weather camera up on our Flooring America iNet from Decatur. That's going to be now the next camera that we're going to be keeping an eye on as the storm approaches from that direction there. We're going to keep an eye on that one. Right now the skies are very dark. The reason being now is that as we've going into close to 6:30, the sun's setting in the west. The sunshine is running into the backside of that cloud of the storm itself, giving it that nice dark appearance there. And we can't really observe anything just yet on it. Maybe we can maybe see a shelf cloud potentially, maybe even a ragged wall cloud with that one. It'll be easier to tell once it gets closer to us. But that's the view that we're going to be watching out for. Again, the areas that are of concern for us with this tornado warned storm, with that center of circulation, that circulation there, probably right there on I-72. Honestly, it's going to be if it is, just off to the north of it, but it's very close to the interstate. Please, if you're in these areas, Mechanicsburg, you still got to be kind of watching out for things. Illiopolis especially, Niantic, Harristown, Mount Auburn, Osbordenville, and I'm going to put a track on it with the 35-mile-per-hour speed on it. Okay, let me just name off these locations, Scott, then I'll give it back to you for another report from Mark Maxwell. Illiopolis 632, 651 for Booty, 658 for Decatur, the Decatur Airport at 705, and LaPlace at 720. If you live nearby these areas, also be sure that you're in your safe spot right now, as a storm has once again another confirmed tornado report with it. But we're going to go to our very own Mark Maxwell. He is in Springfield as well again, or he's in Sherman, excuse me. And Mark, what do you see?
Jack, the one thing we've observed here is just how erratic the storm has developed. Right now, our cameraman is going to look this way. You can follow me here and see just how bright the sunset would have been. That's on this side of town. It was raining pretty hard here a few moments ago. It has relented. We're just on the northern tip of what we can see. We're some fast-moving clouds. You may see some spotty lightning behind me. Check on this side of town. Literally just the other side of the parking lot, you see how dark it's getting, and a lot of these clouds were moving farther along, as you and Jacob have reported, closer into Illiopolis, north of Decatur in that region. So we're on the northern tip of this, just in Sherman. We were coming down this way. You've seen some evidence of basketball goals being toppled. Not much more evidence of any kind of strong wind damage than that. But again, just noting how quickly the circumstances are changing on the ground. So you're watching this broadcast, wondering what's going on. That's why Jacob and Jack are there to kind of keep an eye on where these things are heading next. It's quite stunning just how quickly it evolved here. It was gone and here and gone before you really knew it, Jack. Appreciate
the live reporting there, Mark. We have all of our tools here in the studio, but when it comes to actually what's happening on the ground, your report as well as the report from Mayor Dickey has been very important as well, showing you why that we are on these storms and unfortunately breaking through the newscast, but providing you with this information because these storms have been producing actual real tornadoes.
Jack, I got to say real quick. I just got to say real quick, Jack. We keep calling him Mayor Dickey. He's my dad. Let's just.
I'm just being.
And Dad and I have been chasing together for a long time. We don't want folks just going out and grabbing video of this because this is a dangerous storm. My dad and I, we've trained for this. We've been, chasing for over 20 years together. He's well aware of where he is and what he's doing as we watch this come to Decatur. And I think, Jack, at this rate, we're going to keep going probably for the next half an hour and maybe beyond in that. Just wanted to put that in real quick as we watch that radar. So, Jack, I'm going to let you go. We've got stuff in the news pages we're keeping updated. We're watching your chats as well. So if you've got something there, you can send an email to news@WCIA.com. If there's any damage reports, any power outage, let us know what's going on in your neighborhood because we've got this confirmed tornado now approaching Illiopolis. Jack?
And we're going to just keep it on the Decatur camera just for a few more minutes here. I believe, and Jacob, if you get the moment too to potentially back me up here, does that look like a wall cloud or maybe even a shelf cloud at the bottom of it?
Jack, kind of looking at that, my thought is that maybe what we're seeing there is perhaps that circulation. I'm going to zoom in on that.
Yeah.
That may be actually a funnel cloud right there. Why don't I use that feature as far as it goes? So good pointing that out here. I've been trying to get some social taken care of and some other things done. Just kind of looking at the other cameras, there's some sunshine in Danville and Charleston, but as I pull this up here, that may very well be the tornado. Potentially, as we've got this confirmed tornado now, these cameras can look a long ways away.
And
so bear with me as I turn this here.
And those flashes are lightning, so just that's what's going on there.
It looks like that if there is something, that may very well be it right there. And if you want, Jack, I'll walk in front of the chroma key and kind of point it out to viewers really fast of what we're looking at. This may very well be that circulation as far as it goes. So we're watching right here that little hook echo, and I'd like to get that camera up behind me. Let me pull that on the Max computer if I can real fast, Jack. That might be the way to do that. Jack will get that for me here. So real quick before we pull that, Jack, this is a confirmed tornado likely paralleling Interstate 72. Here's Illiopolis, and we're looking to the west now at it. This is, I think it's going to be our wall cloud, Jack. Based on the placement of that, we're looking to the west. We're keeping our eyes on it, and there's something maybe that would be maybe right here. It's a little far away for contrast, but we're going to watch this closely. Keep our eyes on it here. Again, the updraft of the storm right here rotating. You've got your rain and your hail, and this storm's brought some big hail. But I think, Jack, you're right. This is going to be what we have to watch, and we may want to keep double boxing this for a while longer every now and then. Are you seeing what I'm seeing here, Jack, perhaps?
Yeah, no, I definitely do. I definitely do.
If you can, Jack, maybe zoom it in a little bit and see if we can focus a little
I'm going to try to do
more.
that.
To see if anything's down with that as far as it goes. We know this has produced tornadoes. We showed you that video moments ago from Illiopolis. If we can pan in and kind of zoom in a little more here, maybe keep our eye on it as far as it goes. We're going to kind of watch. I tell you what, Jack, that's darn close there. I'm looking right here at that particular one. Now, we want to make sure we are looking wide at that, but the more I look at that, Jack, the more I think that this is... ooh.
Yeah, this might be it right here. I'm going to zoom out here just to make sure I got my bearings straight.
I think that's down there, Jack. I'm having a little hard time seeing, or it's darn close. Yeah, you zoom out. Let's get a wide view. Make sure we know what we're looking at here.
Yeah.
So here's that rain over here. That's it, Jack. Zoom back in on that.
Yeah, because I just wanted to give it kind of, when you zoom out, you kind of get a little bit of a better contrast with it.
Yeah, so you were looking at is this little feature right here. And as we zoom in, again, we're a little far away. It looks like, I can't tell if that's my screen, if something right in here, it may be darn close. If you can pan it, we got time to watch this too.
Yeah.
This is still over in far eastern Sangamon County near Illiopolis. These cameras are great, Jack. I can't say enough great things about our iNet cameras, our Flooring America iNet network here with Carriage Crossing in Decatur, giving us this view, helping us protect our communities that we're watching. We'll watch this a lot more and keep an eye on it here, but you're right, this is definitely going to be a view of that. And if I had to suspect, Jack, based on the track, this came from northern Morgan, southern Cass County, across north of Springfield. It's taking more of a right turn. So while I still think downstream Decatur, Forsyth, we've got to watch down to the south of there. We get down to Macon and Booty and Elwyn and some of those areas further down. This might be heading south side of Decatur and to areas that are... let's see, down by like the, I don't want to rule anyone out ahead of this here. We're going to watch it and keep you updated, but that right turn may be carrying it a little more south than straight east here. So we're going to watch that.
Yeah.
So at this point, there's no tornado warning for the city of Decatur. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Jack.
Nope, you're correct.
It is to the west of there as we watch this circulation and keep our eyes on it. It's hard to make it out, but radar at this point is still going to do some good wonders for us as far as what's going on. And so, Jack, I'll let you talk about radar. What we'll do then is I'll get that video back up of that tornado. So, Jack, tell us more about what you're seeing, where this is, and where it's heading.
Yeah, so that the velocity, turning that back on right now, the velocity is... And probably in this view, it'll probably be a little bit better to take this one full screen just for a moment. We'll go back to the double box here in a second. But the velocity here, that circulation is now probably south of the interstate, south of I-72 right now. The inbound and the outbound winds there, kind of right there south of Illiopolis, between there and Mount Auburn, likely just to the south of the interstate, if not even... I mean, it's very close to it. It's very close to it. Definitely would not want to be driving between... Decatur and Springfield this evening. If you've got to be traveling to Springfield this evening, just wait. Please just wait. We've already talked about the things you should be doing during a tornado warning, and driving is definitely not one of them. But that's going to be our circulation, and like we've been saying, there might be a little bit more of a southern kind of turn with it. The hail sizes themselves are going to be right there by Illiopolis, going to be maxing out there, but the circulation is going to be south of that. And so we still have on our radar, you still do have the inflow notch that you can see there, and here it is again. That circulation, it probably is just south of the interstate, kind of along and just south of that. But it's moving along, essentially right along I-72, and it's still moving off to the east at around 30, 35 miles an hour. But we've been saying is that once these things turn a little bit more to the right, so in this instance it turns a bit more to the southeast, that's usually when you get more of a increase in the strength of the storm. And so that's probably what we've seen here, as well as the fact that we now have had this storm now be reclassified as a tornado warned observed storm here. So we've got more pictures, more video here, and we're going to go to Jacob on the green wall.
Yeah, if we can pull this up. This picture just came from Dad moments ago, Jack. That was what we were looking at.
Yep.
He's west of Decatur near Illiopolis. This is that wall cloud. It's very ragged, a lot of scud under it. It's hard to see if it's down. There's some, looks like either a hill or some trees there. Looks like it's grass, but as I zoom in, that may very well be the tornado we were watching just moments ago live on our roofing, Flooring America weather cam. That's right. So Dad's out there watching. So we need to treat this as a serious situation with the tornado down. So first, Jack, what I'd like to do is run through some safety protocols, and then if you don't mind, we can put the radar from Max 2 behind me when I'm done. I think maybe, Jack, we can send a push alert, and we can check our digital, make sure everything's working there while I'm talking some of these tornado safety tips through, if that works for you. As we continue our team coverage, you get the best coverage right here in WCIA from this here. So what we'll do is talk about some of our tornado safety. This is really, listen up, Decatur. We're talking to you right now. This is coming downstream. Start thinking about where you're going to shelter from this confirmed tornado that's north of Mount Auburn, south of Illiopolis, likely just south of 72. That's going to be also eventually Blue Mound, Macon, Booty, maybe Mount Zion. Some things we'll want to watch here. If you're in a car, no travel on I-72 west of Decatur. No travel to the south of 51 on, no travel south of 51 from Decatur. Eventually, as this storm approaches, you got to get home. You got to start thinking, what are you going to do and where are you going to shelter from this particular storm? If you're in a mobile home, I know folks live in mobile homes. I used to live in one myself. They're great places 360 days out of the year. This is one of those 5 days where a mobile home can be a very dangerous place to be, especially if that tornado is heading in your direction. So again, eventually this is going to be, we were talking to folks east of Mount Auburn, near Harristown, Decatur, Booty, Elwyn. Eventually start thinking about it. Highway 51 or the bypass around Decatur, Highway 48 to the south and east. You start thinking of where you're going. We get into a major area like Decatur, a large open rooms or a manufactured home, particularly the large open rooms. Think a grocery store, big box mart. Not the place to be. You don't want to be trapped in that when a tornado is coming. And what you want to do is avoid the center of that. Sometimes, and it just happens, is people don't plan, they don't have a plan in place of what they're going to do. Sometimes they say go to the center of the storm. Don't do that. The place to go is to the bathrooms or an enclosed area at the back of the store, the customer service center. That's where you want to be if you happen to be there. You know, someone who's shopping, you want them to definitely come home, Decatur, Macon County, is this storm with a history of several confirmed tornadoes moving in that direction. Manufactured home, not the thing to do. Here's where you want to go. Interior room or a basement of a well-built building is the best place to be for this particular type of event. If you don't have a basement, interior room is going to work just fine. 99% of the time, and even higher than that, about as much as you can. As long as you do something, you'll be okay here. If you got a basement, an interior room, interior bathroom, interior closet, interior hallway of a well-built building, that's one of the great places to be. Tornado shelter or a safe room, also good. Lots of folks here have basements. I grew up had a basement. We spent many May days down in the basement in Gibson City growing up here. That interior room of a well-built building, also an important place to be as far as it goes. I'm going to pull back that video real fast and show it real quick. Again, this was what we saw, the tornado that touched down near Mechanicsburg, moving now it's south and southeast of Illiopolis, south of Niantic. It's right on the river there. If you're familiar in northern Christian County, you got the river south of 72. This circulation was the first thing that we saw of the tornado coming through from my dad, and Jack loves to call him Mayor Dan Dickey. My dad took this. My dad's a trained storm spotter, knows these storms left and right. We've studied meteorology together. We've seen storms. We've chased across the country, and he caught this one here as it moved off to the east and slightly southeast. I think that's going to be more, Jack, based on his location on the bridge, that's going to be more south of the interstate, especially with that tower there, recognizing that from the eastern part of Sangamon County. So again, we talked about tornado safety. What we want you to do, again, is a tornado warning. If you're under the tornado warning, proceed to a safe place. Leave your mobile home and get out of that. You want to get out of a car. Go somewhere that's a sturdier structure. That's important to do as far as it goes, and we really stress that primarily for folks downstream. And then the other thing is folks that aren't in the tornado warning. What are you going to do? What's downstream here? I see that new warning, Jack. We'll send it back to you in a second here. If you're 30 to 45 minutes in the path, we're talking Decatur, southern Macon County now. You got time. You can go somewhere safer. You can go hang out at your best friend Bubba Joe's house or whatever. If you're in a mobile home, hang out at a sturdier house here. Leave. go to be prepared to seek shelter. If you're watching us now, you watch us on TV, on the app, make sure your phone's charged, arrange that safe place, make sure there's no groceries or toilet paper that everyone's been hiding there. Have that place ready to roll, maybe a flashlight as well. That WCIA 3 weather app, we just sent a push alert out for that. So again, looking at Decatur Live now, there's a new severe thunderstorm warning that we've got, Jack. I'll send it back to you if you're ready for me.
Yep.
That warning now is for the storms kind of behind it. As well, we're still watching that storm to the south of Auburn, but I'm going to keep my eyes on this camera to see if we don't see something else happen here, Jack.
Yep, so we'll take it, come back to me, yep. We have some warnings here we want to just pass along to you. Christian, Macon, as well as Sangamon counties until 7 o'clock. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. You're right? Okay, severe thunderstorm warning until 7:30, and this one, as you'll notice here with the coloring, is yellow. It's not orange, which means that there's no tornado possible tag with it. Can there be a tornado that does pop up out of this one? Yes, it's possible, but as of right now, the way things are looking, that is not to be the case. We also do have a few more warnings down into Macoupin County, 2 of them in fact. One until 7, another one until 7:15. Those are also still baseline warnings with 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1-inch in diameter hail. So these storms have begun to fire up and strengthen, and we've been talking about them being in the southern, kind of the southern part of this line of storms here. These line of storms, when they're going from north to south, the southern ones are usually going to be the stronger ones due to the fact that they've got more warm air, humidity to work with. And so that's what we have right now. But obviously, we've still been on just the one storm. The storm that is now moving into portions of Macon County. We've got this one as being still observed for the next 5 minutes. This one has had a history of producing tornadoes with either warnings on them or even observed, confirmed tornadoes on the ground with it. And so that's what we continue to stay on the newscast for this information. We still do have a little bit of an inflow notch that still can be seen with this, kind of right there just south of the interstate. So just south of the interstate in the extreme western portions of Macon County is where likely that circulation is. And it's still moving off to the east and southeast direction up to around 30 to 40 miles an hour, 35 miles an hour. So we're still good with that one. We're still waiting for any more updates. But this one has just a few more minutes left to go with its warning. But you can see now with our Decatur camera, our Carriage Crossings weather camera, and our Flooring America iNet, you've got the wall cloud as it's coming into town. You've got the lightning flashes from it as well. And you can also see, too, some of the ragged clouds of the base of it, the bottom of the cloud. That's what's called scud, and that just shows that the atmosphere is very humid. We're able to make clouds very low to the ground, even technically below the cloud. But Scott, you had a picture that we wanted to pull up here if we can. This is a view of that shelf cloud. And where was this again, Scott? I apologize.
I think that's the...
oh, you know what? I think my IFB died. Oh, no. Rural Atwood is where this was.
I think we're looking at there, Jack, is we're looking at the supercell storm in the distance. See the overshooting top?
Yeah, that's what yeah.
That's a pretty impressive shot here as far as it goes.
Looking west-southwest from Atwood, that's the picture there.
So we appreciate your photos and keeping updates. Again, right now, 6:42, as we were watching those viewer photos. If you have any photos, you can send them to us on our Facebook page and your Twitter. Any reports, we appreciate that. Our news team is keeping updated on things that are going on. We've just extended that tornado warning to now include all of Macon County here, Jack.
Yeah. Let's quickly before we go, let's quickly check in with what Jennifer has. Jennifer's got some information.
I mean, it really isn't a lot, which is a good thing. Yeah. We're kind of just supporting you in the newsroom, trying to make calls. We did call Sangamon County ESDA, and they said no, they haven't had any calls for assistance.
That's good.
So that is really good.
Yeah.
So as this moves through, we're going to be calling Macon County, and as it goes on. But right now for Sangamon County, no calls for assistance. They said the only storm calls that have been made are local, so we're assuming maybe they're calling smaller departments in smaller towns, but no widespread damage over there.
Good. And a lot of these have been in some of the kind of just wide open fields areas as well, so that's been good news as well. But we'll keep on bringing you information. Have the newsroom keep on making those calls, Jennifer. I appreciate that.
We're doing it.
Yep. And we have the new tornado warning that we want to get to now. This new tornado warning goes until 7:15, and it's for Macon County. Jacob, you got something?
Yeah, we want to just kind of pull that feed up here on the chroma key. And Jack, if you want to kind of drive things for me, first off, this is that circulation down here just on the south side of 72. That new tornado warning does include all of Decatur at this point. A confirmed tornado on the ground. There's also some golf ball size hail with this. That golf ball size hail likely to the Niantic area and off to the west of Decatur. That circulation looks like it's taken more of that right turn we talked about. It originated up here and is moving a little more to the south. So I want to say it's darn close to I-72 here, right there perhaps. That's exactly what we're looking at. Booty, we told you, we gave you a heads up. Macon, we gave you a heads up. Decatur, we mentioned this was coming, even down towards Mount Zion and off to the west there as far as it goes. Again, a confirmed tornado, also some golf ball size hail. This is just areas to the north and west of Dalton City. Here's 36. We can move back a little there. Okay, we'll talk about the hail here. It may be coming down a little bit, and that sometimes happens with these storms that pulls. But if we can, Jack, I'd like to pull that warning up and talk about who's in and who's out here as far as it goes. So here we are, the city of Decatur. Right here, Forsyth, this does not include you. This is the city of Decatur. This is Macon. This is Booty. This is down areas north of Mawequa. We're watching here. In fact, that camera shot, very impressive look there as far as it goes. I'm kind of aiming at the edge of the screen here. We're looking right at it.
We're looking right. We're looking right at it.
If that is, so we're going to want to keep this double box. In fact, boy.
Got some cloud to ground lightning on there, just popped up there on the left side of the screen. So the storm has, I mean, we've turned the lightning off with it because it's hard to see all the details out of these storms, but these have been prolific lightning makers as well. But yeah, that view of Decatur, that's it right there.
If we can get that Skycam full screen on the green wall too, and I think maybe we need to have Mark Maxwell in Springfield ready to move east to Decatur behind this storm, because this makes me a little nervous looking at that shot as far as it goes here. Again, the confirmed tornado reported by storm spotters and local authorities here, and that's something where we'd watch. So here we go. If we can get that up, there it is, full screen, and I'll wait for where we're popped up on top of there because I want to be able to talk about it and point some things out.
I'll drive Dickie, and I will zoom in as need be.
All right. So if you've got the camera up on Max 2, is that correct, Jack?
No, it's on Max 1.
It's on Max 1. Okay, good.
Yep.
So we'll know that that's the case. So we can bring Max 1 full on the chroma key so we can start pointing some things here. Here we go. This right here, Jack, really has my eye. You can see there's some motion here. It's still a little far away, but it's getting closer, and we may very well have something that comes down before us here. Decatur, shelter now. I've got to say that at this point, this storm making me a little nervous coming into a populated area, especially with the history of tornadoes that are down here with that. And so we're looking more to the right side here. We're not going to focus and keep on. We're not going to focus and keep on one place with this particular storm. We're going to keep our eyes everywhere as far as it goes. So let's, real quick, before we send it to Mark Maxwell, I really want to watch this because, Jack, I think we're going to watch this drop here before all is said and done. I'm really interested in that feature right there. There's a lot of motion in there, Jack. The lightning really picked up, and that's a sign usually that something is going on as far as it goes. So we'll have Mark in standby. I really think, Jack, we want to keep this shot for right now because this is a dangerous storm coming into a populated area, and this right here is what we're watching. You're watching this from us on our Flooring America iNet camera, Carriage Crossing, sponsored in downtown Decatur, looking off to the west. And if something comes down, this may very well be something we have to watch and keep our eyes on here. Let's take a wide shot just to make sure, Jack.
Yep, that's what I'm doing. Just taking the nice wide shot. Oh wow, the lightning is
something
really
else to see here
with that storm
as far as it goes. And you'll notice that lightning. Here's what we're looking at. First off, this is where the updraft of the storm is here, and we're watching a circulation kind of tucked in back here, more than likely. West, this is looking west from downtown. That street there goes in a west direction. I was there a couple of weeks ago when we had the snow indicator, Jack. Recognize that like the back of my hand.
Oh, yeah, we can't forget that.
Yeah, oh, man. 2 weeks and we go from snow to tornadoes? It sounds like Central Illinois, if you're asking me. This here, though, looking to the west, it's a little bit south of west of downtown Decatur, and that lightning is impressive. This right here you can see coming into town is going to be that hail core, that heavy rain threat as well. It's going to be something that we watch here very closely, and this is that area that we've got to watch. So as much as I want to hear from Mark Maxwell, Jack, I really think at this point we've got to watch this feature because it is spinning like a top, and it is tightening up here as it's moving towards a populated area. If in the back, if Mark has any damage reports or something important, let me know before we check in with him. I'd just like to know that as far as it goes. I'm just kind of checking these reports too, Jack.
We've got a lot of cloud ground lightning with this storm. You'll be able to see it as it comes in closer. You're seeing more and more of it, which does signify a very strong storm. It's most likely, we've got on our velocity too. We've got the velocity showing the nice couplet there too, just to the, well, basically kind of just off to the west-northwest of Booty, to the northeast of Osborneville. And it still might be turning more and more to the right, Jacob.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. That usually happens with these types of storms.
When they get a little stronger, they start to turn even harder and harder to the right. And so this might be, we don't want to say anything just yet, but this might end up being more on the south side of Decatur more than anything else.
Yeah, down in the southwest side and the south side, south of downtown. But at this point, anyone in Decatur, we don't want to rule anyone out at this point.
The whole city is in there right now. Yeah, the whole city's in there right now, but this might be trying to turn more to its right, which would be more to the southeast.
Are you kind of seeing where I'm pointing here, Jack? That lowering that's in place?
Yeah, I'm going to move it a little bit too.
That'd be great. I think you're right about the south surge here. Usually when storms take a right turn, it's a sign they're strengthening, the rotation is increasing. Seeing the lightning like this, that's a sign that this storm is meaning business for Macon County. Right now, we're very concerned for Decatur, areas south of Decatur. Forsyth, you're good if you're in Forsyth, up by the Hickory Mall, up that way. If you're watching in Maroa, you're watching up north of Decatur, you're fine here. Argenta, Oriana, you'll get some hail maybe up in that general direction, but the tornado threat primarily with this rotating wall cloud is going to very much be concerned primarily to the in and south of Decatur. So Decatur, shelter now. That's what we want you to do here as we watch this. Even if there's not a tornado that comes down your street, this still has some large hail, and the latest looks like it's up to golf balls and perhaps even larger than that. So we're going to watch that and keep an eye on this here as far as it goes, because I think, Jack, a couple of things we're going to watch for.
Yeah, are you trying to move the max one?
Nope, I was just kind of checking to see something else. So I want to pull up my GR on my laptop for personal observation here. Something we're seeing here, this is knocking on Booty's door. I'll tell you what, Harristown, you're getting some big hail right now. Here at the 51-72 split in the southwest side of town down towards Booty. There's going to be some big hail there too. This tornadic circulation, Decatur, you got to shelter, even if it goes a little more south here. Jack, at this point, we're going to be watching for either something to touch down, but I'm a little concerned with the storm to the south and west wrapping in there. This may start to get wrapped up in rain, and we'll have to watch for any power flashes here. And then I'm also looking at radar and thinking that some of that heavier rain really approaching our camera now. We may lose the view.
Yeah, the rain is definitely picking up on it. I'm going to zoom out farther out. And so it still is a ways from downtown, but it's very close within our camera range here. Now, I mean, there's at times when you get, especially the lightning flash, there's some indication that there could be something there. I can't say for certain. Wow, those cloud to ground lightning strikes are just impressive looking as that comes on through.
Jack, if we can bring a radar full, I want to check on that northern Christian County storm, and then I also want to check on the Montgomery County storm. It just kind of something has my eye, and I'd like to do a little radar analysis of that on the wall, and then we'll let you kind of talk more about that if we can. First off, if you're looking down there near Stonington, there's some hail and wind, but there's that little feature there that kind of has my eye. Kind of north of Taylorville, and under the path that it'd be going, it'd stay north of Taylorville. But Stonington, we're going to keep an extra eye out for you as well with that particular storm. You kind of see that areas of green right in there, and so I'd like to kind of point that out here. There it is. Maybe even back
some
there
towards
towards
circulations here and there.
Yeah, so a couple of things may be going on there. No warning, we're watching for you. And of course, there's some big hail as well down towards the storm coming into northern Montgomery County near Farmersville, Wagoner. we're a little farther away with radar shot there, but you kind of look and you can see that's going to be approaching I-55 as far as it goes here in central Illinois. That is for quarter hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds, but there's likely a core of some hail right there, that little pink part from Girard. You come here towards Farmersville, I-55, the old US 66, that rickety old road that parallels 55 there, and those storms are moving to the southeast. So we'll watch southern Christian County too. Just wanted to check base on that, Jack, to make sure we're watching.
Yeah,
that's all I see. I think that's all you're probably seeing as well.
Yeah, everything is just all baseline, 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1-inch in diameter hail. Got a local storm report, though, out of Petersburg, but this is back now over an hour ago, of some power poles that were blown down in the Petersburg area. That's just a new warning there, I guess, that the sirens are going off in Decatur.
Rightfully so.
Yep. So that's some good news there that they've got that working. Yeah, let's take Mark real quick here. Mark, what do you got?
Yeah, Jacob and Jack, good evening. We're about 10-15 minutes north of Buffalo in a rural farm field here. The safest place to be in central Illinois appears to be about 5 or 10 minutes behind the WCIA 3 news van coming from Springfield heading here. It's a beautiful skylight behind us, but you can see where the storm has progressed. I also want to show you two things. First, the flooded farm fields here. We're going to take a look at just how quick and impactful the rains were that left a lot of the signs of some of the quick flooding that came through here. Also, a farmer driving past just a moment ago reporting 4 broken power lines. Again, this swept through here pretty quickly, but we wanted to try to give you some picture from the perimeter of what we're seeing on the ground. Again, just behind us, the sunset happening. You're seeing when we're about maybe 20 minutes north of Mechanicsburg. Again, I think, Jacob, you had referenced that location as something where there may have been some activity, some severe weather there as well. So we're working our way as we can safely with your instructions here. We're working our way closer to Decatur and hope to have our eyes on that scene very shortly. But wanted to give you that quick update. Just some flooding in farm fields here and a few downed power lines. But for now, we're fortunate that's all there is. Jack?
Mark, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. This is our view from Decatur still on our Carriage Crossings weather camera and our Flooring America iNet. You've got now the rain coming into the town itself. Our local storm reports, as you can see, over the past 24 hours, we've had now, as I can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different tornado reports. A lot of those have been actually indicated where they have been on the ground. So the storm has produced a number of tornadoes, and it's the one that has our current warning on them right now. Now, off to the north really fast here, you've got, just for an example, just some showers right now. This northern storm, our Decatur storm, as well as our Macon County one, that's the one that does have our warning on it, and that's the one that has the tornado warning with it. But we have some severe thunderstorm warnings down to our south. Still, though, right around the Booty area there, we do have our inflow notch, and that's going to be very important to keep an eye on there. Your circulation's probably right there, and that's what we have on our camera. It's looking in that direction from Decatur from our Carriage Crossings weather camera. Our Flooring America iNet doing a great job there, showing us not only the approaching supercell thunderstorm, but also all the lightning with it, which has just been a lot of that's been CG, cloud to ground, and that means that it's actually coming down and touching the ground, and so we're going to have to look out for potentially some issues with that. But we've got our velocity here, our inbound and our outbound winds, and you've got these strong winds, especially the bright color there. That signifies that there are some very strong winds within that, and that's also causing the storm to rotate around as well. And wow, just our camera there is showing a bunch of lightning as this is coming into the Decatur area, with really our main area of concern down to our south, as well as our southwest of the city there. So any locations nearby, even though the northern side of town is probably going to be seeing a little bit in the way of fewer impacts, the entire city of Decatur should be in their safe spot right now. That circulation there, we've been saying very close to the area of Booty. That's where our inflow notch was. Looking at our velocity, that's where it's there. And again, that's where that notch is. So that everything is matching up nicely here in terms of using our radar sciences to picture and figure out where our tornado warning is. This still does have the confirmed tornado tag with that, which means that there has been a confirmed tornado with it, so we're going to assume that it still is on the ground. We are still kind of waiting for our latest updates, but this storm not only has the winds with it, but also the large hail too. Now this thing that we're looking at right now is called our correlation coefficient, and we like to commonly call that our debris tracker. What that's able to do is the radar is able to see everything that's in the sky, but if it's water-based, so a raindrop or hailstone, it's going to show up as more of a uniform color. If we get more in the way of other colors showing up, then there could be some debris, and maybe, Jacob, what do you think?
I kind of think, Jack, looking at that, maybe there's the inflow really kicking up.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that, as you see those bright reds that just crossed 48 south of Booty there, that's wind surging around here. We've got my dad in Macon right now, and I'm going to pull a photo up real quick, Jack, if I can, and just show you that real quick in the background. You can kind of point out what we're looking at. So let me set that up and take a peek there. And
yeah, so this is, again, especially off on the corner there, that's going to be your lowering of the storm itself. But you've got this kind of the base. Here's the base of the thunderstorm, and you've got kind of more of the clearer air there. So whatever was supposed to touch down in terms of a tornado would be there in the classic setup of a supercell thunderstorm. That's where it should be. And
I think too, Jack, you kind of look at that image is maybe something we're dealing with here. We may not get that clear image of a tornado at this point because of that storm south on 48 crossing from Stonington to Booty, surging out there. But sometimes when these storms move and interact, there's your inflow notch.
Yeah.
You can get something to spin up pretty quick there. And at this point, the radar is going to be our best friend watching this. Storm spotters are still out there. They're watching us, believe me. But we're just going to have to watch that close.
Yeah, because sometimes storms, when they interact with each other, they can sometimes make them stronger, or other times they just knock them down too. But we don't know that until the basically congealing of the storms is complete. So we're still going to be assuming that our circulation is going to be right around the Booty area there. But the whole storm itself is very big. We've got still on our Flooring America INET camera there, the view now is not exactly very good in terms of picking out different features of the storm. It's now too close. It's raining there. And so we'll still keep an eye on things in terms of the lightning, which has still always been very impressive to look at. But in terms of what we expect and seeing more of the structure of the storm itself, that ship has sailed with our Decatur view there. Still, though, we'll keep it up here for a while. Also have the severe thunderstorm warning to the south of the tornado warning for Christian and Macon counties for 60-mile-per-hour winds as well as 1-inch in diameter hail. So there still is going to be some strong winds with that, especially kind of right there along the leading edge of that. That's where you get that push of air out of the storm. That can sometimes be quite strong, and we have to look out for maybe even some little circulations along that. Currently, as of right now, this warning is of just the severe thunderstorm warning criteria. There's not a tornado possible tag with it, but we'll keep an eye on that one there. I'm not saying that it's going to be any less dangerous, because sometimes straight line winds end up doing more damage than a tornado, because a tornado, if it's very small, it impacts only a small area, but a huge area of strong winds is going to do a lot of damage. So don't want to minimize that threat there, but our tornado warning still remains confirmed here as it goes through the Macon County area. That circulation and that inflow notch right there by the Booty area, and this would be trending more on the south side of Decatur, but everybody within Decatur, as well as all those locations, even getting closer to outside of that warning, like in LaPlace, you want to make sure that you're also ready to go too, in case we get any more new information. Zooming out, you've got more storms in the way of severe thunderstorm warnings across portions of southern Christian counties. Get them back into Montgomery as well as Macoupin counties as well, or Fayette counties, I should say. No, Macon County, Montgomery counties. We've got those, but those are all of the 60-mile variety as well. Jacob, got anything new?
You know, just kind of watching here and keeping eyes on it. I did make contact with my dad. And I got to mention first off, my dad and a family friend, Marty Nuss, is out there too with them, helping out and spotting. That's good. I've just learned that here. So they've got multiple eyes that are watching, keeping them safe. They're in Macon right now. They're saying that they're seeing the rain curtains really wrap around and surge ahead towards them. And I believe that that circulation, Jack, may end up becoming more rain wrapped as far as it goes. We don't have any updates for the tornado warning, Jack. Maybe we can give an all clear though for Niantic and Harristown. Still the city of Decatur. Give us a few more minutes. It looks like it may stay just south, but I don't want to say, oh, part of Decatur, and make some folks think they're safe when they're not. Long Creek, Harveyville, down to Dalton City, anywhere between Decatur and Macon as well. Stay in your shelters for now, including the Elwyn area as far as it goes. So really, Jack, maybe the wind is starting to take over with this threat here.
Yeah.
You kind of look at that and you can see it bowing out a little bit.
And if you, if we can have our, have me with Max one behind me, Just one, and then Jacob, if you could loop it as well.
Sure.
The loop looks a lot faster now.
Yeah,
Did you say
it
that?
is.
The loop
I've
looks a lot
moved
faster.
it to the last hour to give you an idea here, and let me just maybe slow it down so you can see it a little better here. And storms are picking up a bit as far as it goes.
Yeah.
Before we do that, Jack, just seeing another severe. Let's see. That was it. That was, oh, you know what, that severe thunderstorm warning, got to mention real quick, this one that was for Christian County, it did have part of Sangamon County in it.
Okay.
But look at that little sliver there. I think that was just more of an error.
Oh, yeah.
There's no intent. So as you get in Sangamon County, you got that alert. We're not worried about Sangamon County at this point. Sangamon County, we're all clear. Logan County, all clear. So we'll loop it here, and you'll be able to see that general transition to maybe some surging winds, some damaging winds in southern Macon County.
That's exactly what I want to point out. It looks like the winds might be surging there, which sometimes means that the storm might be changing more, and it kind of loses more of its supercellular type of characteristics, and it might be trying to become more of a line, more even of a bow, potentially, maybe in the early stages of that. We'll have to wait and see how it evolves, but when that happens, you sometimes can get some very strong winds out of that, and also, too, sometimes, you know, we're going to change the type of cone that we're going to use for our times here. So Moequa High School, 7:07, LaPlace potentially at 7:16. We've got other locations that are be coming in here as the storm moves off to our east-southeast. Hervey City at 7:10, Dalton City at 7:18, Flat Branch 7:22, potentially Lovington at 7:33. Dunn, Findlay, Sullivan, Allenville, all down the line there as we get closer to 8 o'clock, but that's still if this storm continues to hold together. Sometimes what happens with these storms when they do that push out of the wind like that, sometimes it's changing over to, like I said, more of a wind threat. Other times, too, the storm is collapsing, which can sometimes happen as well. But we're not going to just know that right now. We have to wait for a few more radar scans to get that. So,
Jack, I do want to just mention, I just checked the update. It's actually moving at 45 miles an hour.
okay, so that makes sense now. When you get that push, sometimes it's not only becoming more of a wind threat, it's also the storm physically itself is now moving faster as well. So now we've got some updated times here to reflect the fact that it's moving more at 45 miles an hour to the southeast. So Dalton City at 7:10, Flat Branch 7:11, Lovington at 7:20. So some of these may not have changed a whole lot. But we add in some other spots like Shelby County or Shelbyville coming at 7:38, Gaze 7:43, and then Mattoon 7:47, Charleston just before 8 o'clock. That's if it keeps on going in this direction. We still do have the severe thunderstorm warnings down to our southwest with those other cells down there, and this is again probably going to be a bit more favorable in terms of severe area because these storms are now the southern storms, and so they're on the receiving end of the warm, humid air. But the problem is, though, is that it's 7 o'clock, a little after 7 o'clock, we might be running out of some of the peak fuel for these storms to go, so they may not end up being as strong as what we've seen already. We'll keep an eye on things, how these ones develop, but still, though, the tornado warning, Jacob, doesn't that one have another 9 minutes? Doesn't it go until 7:15?
Yeah, they did update it. They're still calling it a confirmed tornado here. I'm
Okay.
going to pull that up. I'm trying to get our camera turned as well so we can look a little more south and whatnot. The lights are all still on, though, in downtown. That's good.
Yep, that's good.
As far as it goes. But they're saying it's a confirmed tornado. They have the tornado warning, interestingly enough, Jack, going at 30 miles an hour. But the storm to the south there, they've upped it to 40 miles an hour. In fact, they just extended that warning, too.
Okay.
So still, I'd say Decatur. If you're in Decatur north of the lake, I think at this point we want you just a few more minutes. Long Creek, Mount Zion, down to the areas south of Decatur on 51 and 121. That takes you down towards parts of Moultrie County. We're going to be watching this move forward, but we may be evolving into more of that wind threat, Jack.
Yeah, and that's usually what happens when we have storms that are initially going. They are more individual cells, and that's usually more of your tornado threat. Then as they kind of all come together, then it becomes more of a line. But we've been able to keep the individual cells characteristics for a long time with these storms. But our models were maybe trying to pick up on that earlier today in the late afternoon hours. This was definitely a tough forecast for sure with it. But our severe thunderstorm warning comes out of that storm, and it goes for Coles, Douglas, Moultrie, and Shelby County. So this is definitely one that takes it quite a ways out. They're going to call it for 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch in diameter hail. So we'll see if that's what this storm transitions into, and it loses the tornado tag with it. First off, though, notice that it's a yellow. And so there is currently no tornado possible tag with it, not necessarily saying it can't happen, but that's good news from the National Weather Service that they're not adding that little bit of information in there with that. Just a few more minutes to go now, about 7 minutes. And this is a view that we're going to see here. Is this from the mayor?
This is from the mayor.
Okay.
He's they're letting us know, him and Marty Nuss, you know, you'd love saying that, Jack, don't you?
I mean, it's just being respectful.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. I call him Dad, so that's okay.
So
yeah, he's down in that Macon area, south of Decatur. You kind of get the idea of that shelf cloud surging out a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is now definitely more of a shelf cloud. This is not so much of a wall cloud anymore. And I do always love with a shelf cloud how you've got those different colors that show up. In this case, a nice turquoise color. So that's looking up at the fact that there's not only a lot of raindrops within the cloud too, but also a lot of hail as well. So the hail still remains a issue with these storms as these are coming on through. But just a great shot there from the mayor as we see this storm potentially changing from more of a supercell to potentially more of a line with a shelf cloud with it. Still though, those can be just as dangerous with some strong winds with them. But as of right now, the warnings that we have that are going to come out of it, and there's a new warning, right? Was that a new warning or just a refresh?
It was just a refresh, I think. They extended that warning. Of course, you saw that. It went all the way for Douglas, Coles, Moultrie, Shelby.
Yeah.
That's for that wind threat here. But I just what I want to do real quick, Jack, is I still want to roll in and kind of analyze this because the National Weather Service still is calling this a confirmed tornado near Decatur with that storm. So we're going to take a peek in there and watch it. Maybe when that wind surges on the north side, sometimes you can get that. And you see that circulation you're pointing out right there, Jack. And I'm going to take a look at the debris signature, too. And to me, I don't see anything.
No, I don't see anything either.
But I think we're getting a good definitive picture, that blue in front of it. That may be some dust blowing out with some straight line winds there from Dalton City down to Moweaqua, kind of in front of that surging bow to the south.
Yeah, that would make sense because here's the bow itself right there, and then here's all the dust getting picked up and blown out ahead of it as that storm approaches in there. So good news that we're not really seeing much in the way of debris, but definitely some strong winds out of this as this storm is most likely pushing itself out. We'll have to see if sometimes that can kill the storm. It can actually just blow itself out. And other times too, it's just changing the type of mode that it is. It's going from more of a tornado threat to more of a straight line wind threat. And also too, when we potentially see this storm maybe line out and maybe bow out a little bit more, becoming one of those shapes, it also loses a little bit more of the hail characteristics as well. So we'll see how this goes. But they still have another 5 minutes left of this confirmed tornado warning for basically Macon County, which does include the entire area of Decatur, but most of the impacts that we've been looking potentially would be on the south side of town. This is our view from Mattoon on our Casey Summers weather camera, our Flooring America INET. If this storm keeps on turning more like it has been to the southeast and it keeps on going, we may actually be able to see this come into the Charleston-Mattoon area as well. What you're looking at right now is the sunshine off to the west. Oh, sorry about that. Jake, could you? No, you're good. What you're looking at off to the west is the actual anvil of the supercell thunderstorm. So this is the very top of it that is tens of thousands of feet in the air, and then the storm itself coming in off the camera there. Most of that storm is going to be coming in off of the right side of your screen there, but that's essentially the kind of the UFO looking shape of these storms as it comes on through. A great looking shot there. And Mattoon, or from Charleston I should say, our first mid-weather camera on our Flooring America INET doesn't have the nice well-defined contrast of the sunshine there, but the storm is there. You've even got some of the lighter clouds there, which might indicate that you might be able to see potentially the shelf cloud here after a little while, but as of right now, it's still a ways away from the Charleston-Mattoon area, but that would be most likely the next camera that we switch to if this thing holds together.
And then Jack, we'll go back to Springfield, just kind of look at how much nicer things look there. Still a bit breezy. That cold front going to be pushing through soon, and that's going to end that threat for us here before all is said and done. I'm also going to try and get the camera here at the station turned and look at that. You know, we haven't talked about Champaign County, and I hope we don't have to. And I hope we get off here soon, but we'll get a nice view here as I turn that camera and pop it up. You'll be able to see that in just a second from the studio. So here it comes, and you can kind of look at that off in the distance there.
Yeah, so there we go with that. This is looking off to the distance. This would obviously be looking off to the southwest. You've got the sunshine peeking through some of the clouds, so it gives it a very cool look to it. But that's the storm as it approaches into it's down to the southwest, and I highly doubt that this will be impacting Champaign County. It's been moving more to the east-southeast more than anything else, and with that new warning that we have on it that was issued a few minutes ago, it clearly takes it well far to the south. But yeah, it might be Charleston Mattoon's time to shine with their cameras there. So we still have another 2 more minutes of our tornado warning for Macon County. It still is a observed tornado. But we're going to wait and see what they decide to do with our next warning that comes out here in just a few minutes. Any clues in the NWS chat, Jacob, that you've seen?
Haven't seen anything new yet. Yeah. They're just kind of chatting about this storm, so we'll find out here. If you want, Jack, we'll go ahead and bring me back in the pod shot and kind of break it down here and give some folks an all clear. I think that's good to do for us here, so maybe we can adjust that camera a little bit and tighten it on in a little bit for our pod shot here, and so we can kind of get more of this on there as much as we can as far as it goes. And so what we're doing is we still have this tornado warning for an observed tornado and golf ball size hail in Macon County, but I think at this point, Jack, we can say all clear for Decatur, Mount Zion, Long Creek, Dalton City. Hopefully the trends we're watching support the tornado warning to expire in a few minutes. If that happens, though, Jack, I'd like to suggest that maybe we stay with it for a little while longer just to make sure a new warning doesn't pop up immediately on TV. So we give it a few minutes. Sometimes the National Weather Service is talking and debating, kind of like Jack and I do. You know, do we issue? Do we extend? What are we looking at here? And just to make sure we're clear for that here. And then I'm going to assume, Jack, that what we'll do is we'll just stay on digital for the rest of the night here and move that over to the app and move it over to the stream. So that warning will likely be either updated or be allowed to expire within the next 10 seconds. We're going to figure out what's going to go on here, and then we'll give it a few minutes just to make sure, as far as it goes here, that nothing new comes up. But as I look at this, the tornado warning now no longer in effect for Macon County. If you're in Mount Zion and Dalton City, it's 7:15 right now. I would still suggest maybe giving it a few minutes, just until we get confirmation from the National Weather Service office in Lincoln that they're not going to reissue it or that they're all clear in that. But I got to say, this looks like it's coming more of a damaging wind threat. Moweaqua down to Assumption here. You've got Dalton City and parts of Moultrie and Shelby County. Wind's going to surge out and head towards Lake Shelbyville and Sullivan and places like that. So we're going to watch it closely here and keep it updated. But, Jack, we may be transitioning a little bit away to more of a damaging wind threat.
Correct. Before
all is said and done. I don't want to discount that by any means.
Well, and if anything, with the way that the storm looks right now, it very well potentially could have some stronger winds with it. The warning winds have always been at 60 miles per hour, the baseline winds, and so we actually may end up seeing this potentially kick up a little bit stronger, maybe getting closer to 70 miles an hour, let's say. I'm not sure how that's going to play out here, how the storm is going to do now that it's kind of congealed a bit more, but there's that potential that could always be the case. Now, we're still going to be, again, there's no tornado warning with it right now. We have severe thunderstorm warnings out there. Typically, that would mean that we would drop out of coverage off of TV, but we want to make sure first that no new tornado warning is issued, because that happens a lot of times, and there's nothing worse than having to see us come back on after being off for 5 minutes or something like that. So just give us a few more minutes here to make sure that nothing new comes out of it. We're going to keep on checking up with the National Weather Service. We've got our chat open so we can see what they're thinking and see if they need to reissue anything. But as of right now, there has not been any new warnings issued except for from about 10 minutes ago when we got this big severe thunderstorm warning that goes for basically a lot of Shelby County and then back off towards I-57 where you've got more locations that could be potentially impacted should this hold together. We've got kind of some different lobes. Would that kind of make sense there, Jacob? Some kind of lobes out there, which does signify sometimes that we've got some strong winds with these storms, but it doesn't exactly have that classic shape that it had a little bit ago with the notch and in terms of our velocity there.
No, it looks a little more disorganized in
Yes.
a way here as I pop it up here with the velocity on the pod shot here. You know, we kind of look and see that, yeah, there's something going on. Again, when we look at a velocity shot like this, and then for the back as well, just so control knows, we'll put max 2 on the green wall for Jack so I can control here and he can stay back there, and we can keep things going if need be. We'll give it a few more minutes. I've asked the question for the National Weather Service. They're looking through some things right now just to make sure. But we're looking for the radar site up in Lincoln. That sits up here in the top left of your screen. That beam is shooting down there. You can see it sweeping on through. We've got green and red. Green going towards. So where is that going? Towards the radar this way, from Bethany to Mount Zion. This red going away from, surging off to the south here, and likely, Jack, we're probably going to get into tornado warning the way it looks for all is said and done. They're working on it. They're asking the question. So at this point, I want to say Bethany, I would say maybe just be in your shelter just in case here, especially with the strong wind. But there may very well be just a little circulation right in there as far as it goes. We'll watch and see. They're continuing the severe thunderstorm warning, of course. They're updating their alerts. But at this point, there's a reason we're staying here as far as it goes. Jalen, if we can we tighten my shot a little bit and cut some of this blue behind me here? I want to make sure folks are seeing this as much as possible and looking at that angle and making sure we're looking at things here. So, Jack, if you're seeing what I'm seeing, maybe there's just a little bit of a circulation right here just to the south of Dalton City that maybe will warrant a new warning before all is said and done. No update.
Yeah.
They said they're working on that now. I don't know what that means, but I suspect that probably going to get another one. And the reason for that is because we've got winds really surging out here, and we've got winds going that way. And that's a counterclockwise circulation right here. It's broad in nature, but it's still something where we think that it necessitates us staying on air with you right now for a few minutes longer until we figure out what the general trend is. But I gotta say, the wind threat really here for Obed, Moweaqua, Findlay, Sullivan, Windsor, Gaze, Mattoon, down to the south and east there. That's, I believe that's Illinois 116, if I remember correctly. 121, that is. From Sullivan, Bethany, Allenville, you're going to get some strong wind here into Moultrie County regardless. Strong straight line winds can still be cause damage just like tornadoes can. And if we get some winds of 70 mile per hour plus out of this still, we'll have some power outages. We'll have some damage potentially to trees. We spend a lot of time on tornadoes, and rightfully so. They're dangerous. They can cause lots of damage, but they cause it in a localized area here. And the wind threat may win out. We thought that may happen. We thought we'd get at least a tornado or two in there and keep our eyes on it. Jack, let's go talk about Christian County. Show some love there real quick. I'll let you kind of talk about what we're looking here near Taylorville. I know folks there a little... maybe, I don't know the right word, a little, maybe have a little fear in their mind. You were covering that storm right here in the studio a couple of years back. Let's give some love to them in Taylorville and make sure folks in Christian County as well are getting some love here. And then I'm going to jump back for that new warning that just popped out.
Yeah, so more than anything else right now, we're just kind of looking at more of a straight line wind threat with this one. We've got this one for Christian County. You mind turning the warnings on that one real quick, Jacob? I don't remember which one that. I think this one goes until 7:30, 7:45. Hail is a little bit bigger with this one coming in at 1.5 inches, so that's going to be your ping pong sized hail. That's going to be, you can kind of see that's a big area there of even some of the reds and even some of the purples there, showing that that's a pretty big core, a large area of very heavy rain, and it's moving off to the southeast. And we also have, any more warnings down to the... Oh, yeah.
We just got that new tornado warning that popped on in there.
Okay.
Radar indicated. We mentioned that.
Yep.
Moving southeast at 35, right down Bethany, Sullivan towards Allenville, eventually on 121. I think this is going to be a driving down 121 type of event for us here.
Yeah.
And as it takes that right turn. So we're going to watch that here and keep you updated as far as it goes, Jack.
So that's our notch right there. So what's happened is that even though it's a pretty broad area of rotation, it's strong enough going in the different directions to where there's a chance that we can maybe see some spin up that does happen in there. And so we got our inflow notch right there, and it's going to be basically going down right down 127. So Bethany, make sure that you're in your safe spot. Sullivan as well. Lovington especially, I would say even though you're on the edge there, still just be ready to go just in case. But this storm has been moving off more to the southeast compared to the east like it has been over its lifespan since we got started with this a few hours ago. But you've got the rotation there. Again, it may not be the super tight couplet that we look at for or tornado warning, but there's a lot of broad rotation there, and that means that it could still throw down a tornado, and so that's why they've issued this warning. Again, please take this seriously. I know we've been calling for, okay, there we go with the new update there, so that notch is basically right around the Bethany area there. So Bethany, done as well. Make sure that you guys are safe in your safe spot right now. And this storm is moving out to the southeast. Jacob, what's the speed of this storm?
The speed is only 35 miles an hour. I'll say this too, Jack. That latest update that just came into is kind of an area from Bethany to Dalton City right on 121. The thing to note is with this particular storm is you keep your eye right here for me, right in here, and watch what happens when I pull up the radar. You know, if this is looking at velocity, how's the storm winds moving? What's happening? And we're seeing some rotation with that. There's nothing tight, nothing indicating something's down, but it's still strong enough where we've got the tornado warning. Look what happens when I put up the reflectivity. You're used to seeing it. Your eyes were probably right about here, right? Rain wrapped is the deal we're going to have with this storm. Now you're not going to see it at this point. We had some views of it earlier, and we may try and get that video back a little bit here before all is said and done, Jack. But for the most part at this point, it's going to be wrapped up in rain. I hope you trust us, and hope you know we're here for your best interest in Moultrie County. And with this tornado warning now coming right down 121. Bethany, Sullivan, Allenville. This will be north of Lake Shelbyville. But really, I think that 121 corridor is where we're going to watch this, Jack, as far as it goes.
It's going to go kind of right down the highway there. And like you're saying, rain wrapped. When you've got the notch like that, that's our inflow notch, but there's rain on all sides of it there, so it's going to be very difficult to tell. Also be very difficult to tell, too, if we have any trained spotters that are nearby the area, or even storm trackers. It's going to be hard for them to even see anything anyway. So treat it like we've got this one confirmed. This storm, again, is the one that keeps on bringing us these tornado warnings. So this is I think it's its sixth one right now so far for the evening, and we're going to keep on going with it. So it's moving out to the east at around 35 miles an hour. That puts many locations within Moultrie County potentially at risk. So make sure that from essentially Dalton City all the way down to southeast of Sullivan, you want to make sure that you're where you need to be right now for your safe spot. In terms of our hail, there's also been some large hail with this one too, and the straight line winds, especially on the leading edge of this, could be quite an issue as it comes on through some of these communities within Moultrie County. The winds may actually be picking up a bit more, and or at least being more measurable across more of the storm. Sometimes you have just little pockets of 60-mile-per-hour winds. This one might in fact have storms or have the winds with 60 miles an hour across a greater range of the storm. So we're going to keep an eye on this one. I know unfortunately we're still covering up normal programming, but with the tornado warning, this is what we have to do. And this storm has proven to be dangerous for a number of hours already this evening due to the fact that we've had multiple reports of tornadoes coming in out of this one.
Just want to mention Macon County all clear. First off, if we can bring the sky cam up in Mattoon on Max 1 full screen. We'll look at that and kind of hit the reset button. Jack, if you want to come back here and we can kind of organize some things real fast. We're watching that. You're seeing the storm approaching in the general direction the storm heads. The next camera we have on our Flooring America iNet weather camera network is that Mattoon camera as far as it goes. And so we're watching and keeping an eye on it there. I will mention as well, Charleston, we've got eyes with you into the area. We're keeping a close look at you in those parts of the region. No warning for Coles County, but if you're downstream in Coles County, you might start thinking about what you're doing. We're looking at the First Mid-Bank camera there in Charleston. It's 74 according to the bank camera there. There's some instability. There's some fuel ahead of this particular storm as far as it goes. So we're watching it closely. We're keeping a close eye on it and really keeping things updated as far as it goes. Jack, we're here for one tornado warning.
Yep, we're here for one tornado warning. We've got the other warning still back into portions of Christian County that goes until 7:45. That's our only other warning that is currently out there. And that's it. There have been more storms that have developed, and those have really not been able to strengthen too much more. So hopefully our warnings stay limited to what we've already seen so far. I'm just kind of just looping it here just to kind of show a little bit of a different view. Again, here's Champaign. We might get in a little bit of some rumbles of thunder into Champaign County, but a lot of this is going to be going south of town here in the south edge of town. But you're looking at quite a bit of locations in Platte County, seeing some heavy showers and those storms as well. This is coming in just in the southern edge of the county there, and it looks like they've trimmed up a little bit of that warning, but Moultrie County still remains the county under the gun for these warnings. The velocity itself, still kind of looking at some broad areas there of it, and again, when you have an area of inbound and outbound winds, when the greens and the reds are close to each other, that's when you can sometimes get those spin-ups. And so that's what we're looking at right now in terms of the reason why this warning keeps on going. Our hail sizes, get those kind of re-centered as well. Right now, some big-time hail, probably very close to the Bethany area right now. So that makes total sense. That's where the hail core and also the actual rain shaft of the big storm is itself. So make sure that you guys are away from windows in your safe spot, because not only the wind could be the issue, hail could be the issue as well. Jacob, you got something just yet?
Yeah, there we go. I wanted to bring up the circulation that we had earlier. This was the confirmed tornado that we spotted. My dad and Marty Nuss, Mayor Dan as Jack likes to call him, saw this tornado here near the Mechanicsburg area in Sangamon County. It was still more visible at this time. We're seeing more of the storm wrapped up, so we're not going to have a view like this, but I just wanted to show you that. This was earlier tonight. We've got Mark Maxwell. He's on his way to Dalton City to investigate, make sure things are safe there. I got to say, Jack, though, even though we've had these circulations rolling on through, we haven't had any damage reports that I've seen so far. I don't know about power outages, though. I think we had some lines down. Maybe we can check the power outage tracker as well with these storms. So again, this was that circulation. You saw it here just moments after it happened. You saw this only here on WCIA 3 with this particular video from the Mechanicsburg area. Quick tornado safety, again, for Moultrie County, this is applicable to you now. If you're in an apartment, you're in a mobile home, you're in a manufactured home, you got to take action at this point. We want people in site-built, well-built structures here. No cars, no mobile homes, no manufactured homes. If you're in a car driving, you're listening to us on the app, you're hearing those warnings in the streams or on a radio station, you got to pull over at this point and get into a better structure. The better thing to do, even though maybe there's some hail, get out of the car. Insurance will cover you. That's what it's for here. Large open rooms, manufactured homes, still a bad place to be. We want you in an interior room or a basement of a well-built building. We're talking to folks now here in Bethany and in Sullivan and Allentown and areas of Moultrie County. This does not include Arthur. This does not include, I think, Jack, it doesn't include Lovington either. If I check that map looking for placement.
No, Lovington was just outside of it.
Just outside of it. This is now looking like it's a Sullivan issue. We're all clear for Macon County. Lovington getting some rain, Cushman getting some rain, likely some hail in there too, so we're watching that closely. But we're really, I think, Sullivan, the next major city in line here. Tornado warning, Moultrie County, proceed to a safe place. Leave your mobile home, get out of a car, in, down, and up. Most interior room inside of your home, away from windows. Inside hallway, closet, an interior bathroom. No windows in that room. That's the best place to be. Get down as low as you can. A basement's best. You can still do just fine, though, if you're in a crawl space or as low as you can inside that interior room, using pillows, mattresses, things like that. If you're a kid watching us, you're just going to have a fort tonight, a little pillow fort, whatnot here. And you can keep us watching here. We'll just have some little fun tonight. Pillow fort sounds like fun. A little mattress and whatnot. Make the parents dig it all up and build that in the closet there. And then cover up as well. Bicycle helmets are great. They're helmets. They'll keep your head safe as far as it goes. We're going to give you the all clear. We've been doing that. Macon County, all clear. It's a Moultrie County issue, though, and I think Sullivan's next in line. I don't want to give Bethany an all clear yet. Of course, we're doing our coverage. You may be listening to us on TV. That's great, but your TV may not be next to your safe spot. You can either turn the volume up or you can join us on our digital apps. We're there streaming. We are streaming on Facebook, on Twitter via Periscope. We are streaming as well on the news and the weather app. So it's some things to note here for a tornado warning. You got to take action. That 30 to 45 minute window now is Coles County downstream. No warning yet. You'll start thinking about it, and if it continues, maybe Cumberland County. Cumberland County, last month, we had a little trial run here as well with this particular storm with a history of producing tornadoes, a number of them indeed. How do you get alerts here? First off, this is another thing we really have spent a lot of time talking about from our severe weather special. We'll revisit it tonight before Jack will give you some more time to analyze that storm. Of course, we're here on TV. We'll be here on TV with you. We'll get through these storms and stay with you as long as we need to. But again, live stream, the app, a laptop. I've got the laptop around the corner here in the green wall, running with our stream, making sure things are going good. You may have heard on your mobile device a loud noise and a note popped up that doesn't look like a text message from Granny saying tornado warning in your area, check local media. That's wireless emergency alerts, and it keeps you informed. We love those, especially if you're at night. They wake you up. You can bet on that. You've probably been woken up by that before. I do have outdoor sirens here, but more than likely, the way this looks, the heavy rain, the wind, you may not hear that. Don't count on that to be a reliable source as much as you do these other ones here. And of course, the NOAA Weather Radio, the one in Shelbyville, has been working, keeping folks with NOAA Weather Radios in the areas we're seeing these alerts under the gun, keeping them informed. And of course, 2 sources for weather information. How are you going to hear it? The other thing we'd like to encourage, Jack, is folks, if you know someone down that way, send them a text. Say, hey, come watch Jack and Jacob on WCIA 3. They'll get you through the storm. Be aware there's some severe weather coming your way with this one. Of course, we're focused on that tornado warning, but we will continue to watch as well with the severe thunderstorm warning. Still have a chance for some strong winds as far as it goes. Here's a check in Matt Toon, again, on that KC Summers Flooring America iNet camera, and you can see the storm off in the distance. We'll keep an eye on this. At this point, Jack, I don't really think the camera is going to do us a lot of justice here. The radar driving it for us because we don't have a camera in Moultrie County, and I would love to have one there to keep folks safe and informed here as far as it goes. We just don't have that in that particular spot. So one day maybe we will. That's a dream, I think. But we'll use this Matt Toon camera. And as the sun goes down, Jack, I bet we're going to see a lot more of that lightning off in the distance.
Yeah, we got actually some video that we're going to show quickly here, and this is from the Sherman area as it was coming on through. This is I mean, that's a great looking shot as that came on through. This was just a little bit ago when it was in Sangamon County. That was a impressive looking.
That looks like a drone. They got a drone up, don't they?
Yeah, that's good right there. That's good. So that's.
You look how low that is.
That's, as I say, it's very low right there at the bottom of your screen, and at any point that could have put a tornado on the ground if it didn't already at certain points. So that's what we're looking at from the Sherman area there. Scott, was that from the fire department? Look like? Yeah, it has had their logo there on the corner there. They're trained storm spotters, so they know what to look for. So we have a tornado or a severe thunderstorm warning for Christian and Shelby counties until 8:15. So that what they've done here is they have put a bigger warning out for these storms down here. And the reason for that one is this one down here, which would include spots that go all the way to Shelbyville, would be for large hail. So the wind speed is actually pretty weak, coming in at less than 50 miles an hour, which usually, if you're going to have strong winds, you're going to have strong hail, or vice versa. So it's actually pretty interesting to see it as less than 60 mile an hour winds and 1 3/4 hail. So that would be getting close to golf ball sized. So that's definitely going to be something to look out for. Here we'll turn our hail on, and right now, so you got the core between Bethany and Sullivan with our tornado warned storm there, kind of right there along 121. But then you've got down to its southwest, south of Vanderbilt by the Winona area, the Nokomis area close to there. There is another area of large hail with that hail core there. And so that's why there's a new warning out for that storm. And that one goes until 8:15. So we're going to keep an eye on that one. In terms of our velocity, here is our tornado warned storm in Moultrie County. It still remains radar indicated. You could still have some of the areas of rotation there where the reds and the greens meet, kind of right there. So it's very close to 121. Might just be the center of circulation, maybe have just passed by the Bethany area. But still, though, any spot within Moultrie County and even down the line, want to make sure that you're in your safe spot because the chance for this storm to drop a tornado is possible. And also, too, our strong winds could be definitely able to cause damage as well. So we've got essentially 2 areas of concern here with our storms. They kind of congeal up. Notice these warnings are now all pretty close to each other as well. And so we might be looking at a time now to where it might be becoming more of just a Boeing segment of our line of storms. Maybe it loses some of that tornado threat with it. Maybe it doesn't. Sometimes you can have our little circulations along the leading edge of it as storms kind of come on in. But that's where we're at right now. Severe thunderstorm warning until 8:15 for Christian and Shelby County. That's what we're looking at there. Moultrie County deputies reporting small amounts of hail, generally on the north end of the county. So that's coming in out of Moultrie County. And that makes sense with the hail size there, right around the Bethany area, Sullivan, Lovington, all kind of right around in that area. That would make sense that they're seeing that in the northern part of the county. But in terms of our storms itself, kind of moving now more off to our southeast, still going at around 35 miles an hour, but there may actually be kind of an acceleration there as this is kind of pushing out. Jacob's got some of our local storm reports that he's got, and I believe that this storm this is now in its probably its 7th tornado warning of the evening, besides counting kind of trimmings and things like that. This might be its maybe 7th or maybe even 8th unique tornado warning with it.
Yeah, something like that. We're watching that storm carry on through right now, and let's look back on what it's done here for as far as some of the storm reports. You mentioned some of the hail coming out of Moultrie County, small hail in general in the northern half of the county. There was some hail reported in Decatur, and as well as that storm down by south of Taylorville. I believe that's going to be, Stonington's to the north and east, south and west of Taylorville, Hillsborough, Litchfield, kind of in between there, and some quarter to golf balls earlier with that. But you see this initial storm, really well forecasted event, I'd say, Jack, here, formed in western Illinois, crossed the river, and dropped, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tornado reports. And then we haven't heard anything damage related in Macon County. And Jack, if you can check power outages and let me know if there's anything there. Maybe the wind is starting to come through, but usually we'll get those a little later. So that doesn't mean we're not getting damage. It just means the reports haven't come on in as it goes. So we'll watch it here, but those storms now are sitting there. As far as it goes. Now, downstream from this tornado warning, at this point now, that's Coles County. You're not under a tornado warning now. You are under a severe thunderstorm warning, and that's going to include Mattoon. It's going to include areas to the north. It even includes the far south and southwestern part of Douglas County, near Arcola, and areas south from Arthur south as well. That's the severe thunderstorm warning. If there's a new tornado warning issued, the next one in line is going to be Mattoon, perhaps Neoga, perhaps areas south of Mattoon, Lakeland College. You get to Cooks Mill, north and west of town, Lake Mattoon, down that way. We're going to talk to you real quick. If you're downstream, you live in a mobile home, you got some time to get out, even with its straight line winds, and go somewhere better. Just be prepared to seek shelter. You're watching us now here or on our digital platforms. Charge your phone, have it plugged in. Arrange your safe place. You know, if you've got some groceries from last week or some clothes sitting there you've been sorting or whatnot, use that time to clear out that safe place now. Got a flashlight? Jack, I don't know if you heard any wind or power outage reports.
Yeah, I've got the only county that's got any reports out is Menard County with 269 out of them. So it's actually not that many reports of outages there. It's 269 unique customers that are without power in Menard County. Everywhere else in the viewing area that has seen these severe thunderstorm warnings as well as tornado warnings is actually all good.
It's good to hear as far as it goes.
Cass County has just one outage. So the power outage is really not much of them, which is good.
So that's a good sign here. That means maybe that the power infrastructure not taking damage. But what it may mean still is that there could be some moving forth now, and maybe some of those reports trickle on in. So still, have a flashlight. Smart thing to do here, especially as we're starting to see the sun set. The time now 7:40. Jack, we've been with folks for almost 3 hours now here.
I know. This is
starting to get a little dark.
Ones.
Yeah, it's been a long time, been a long night, but we're here keeping you safe as far as it goes. So flashlight downstream, check your weather app. Great thing to have. Make sure you've got it downloaded. You'll get an alert in the snap of your finger as soon as that warning's issued. So we're speaking to folks downstream from that here. I do want to time this out for what's next and what's coming, and we'll talk about what we're seeing here. Here's that line again. The one tornado warning, Moultrie County. There's severe thunderstorm warnings, though, for hail and wind all the way down from Carlinville down there, and in Hillsborough, as we go up towards the Pana area, here's Strasburg, Stewartson. You got Shelbyville tucked in there. Lake Shelbyville right here. Sullivan, Allenville, Mattoon, Charleston. This line is moving off to the south and to the east there as far as it goes. And I do want, real quick, Jack, I'm going to show the future track. First off, this is what it says is supposed to be happening right now. There should be, according to future track, storms a little more north of 72. We're not seeing that. That's good. We like that. But we're still seeing some of these more isolated storms in nature. And our timing is a little bit, we're a little fast today, which means that maybe the severe threat's going to end a little earlier tonight, Jack. That'd be great. We can get out of here on time tonight before all is said and done. So watch what happens. Again, this isn't happening right here. It's these kind of down in here we're watching. As we go to 9 o'clock then, you know, we're going to have to subtract maybe 30 minutes to an hour off of that here. Mattoon, Charleston, down to Toledo, Greenup, Neoga, down towards Shelbyville, and continuing down towards Vandalia, Effingham. This isn't happening, so it probably isn't going to pop up. So more than likely tonight, you're watching in Champaign-Urbana, you're watching in Danville. We're just inconveniencing you, keeping you off of the show tonight you want to watch. And then as we go to 10 o'clock, it pushes more to the south and east, south of 70. Again, that's probably not going to be there. This, though, we're just looking at it for timing as far as it goes. By 10:30, we're looking like we're clear here in parts of central Illinois. Checking into the forecast for tomorrow, kind of talking downstream real quick. Tomorrow morning by 8 a.m., in fact, from tonight, midnight to 8 a.m., southern Illinois, Mount Vernon, down towards Salem, down towards Marion, Harrisburg, Paducah. Those areas are going to have a big windstorm come on through more than likely tonight. We're north of that. The front should sweep through, but still, some of these areas from Vandalia, Shelby County, Moultrie County, Coles, over towards Clark County may get some heavier rain and some thunder tomorrow. Not severe. We think once we're done tonight, we're done for the day here as far as it goes. So we're going to get this line of storms here with that nice view there from Mattoon to KC Summers camera. In fact, catching a little bit of that lightning, Jack. In fact, if I look here, this camera, unfortunately, we can't turn, but look here on the right side of your screen.
Yep, there's your shelf.
There's your shelf cloud leaning on through here. That's a sign that the wind really picking up, but still behind it, you see that vertical motion or vertical look to it, and then it's spoofing out ahead of here, I suppose you could say, that updraft pushing off. So we're looking off to the west. This is a north-south. I've never used the green screen this way. This road right here, north-south, this one is an east-west road as far as it goes. And so we're looking off to the west with a little more north there. Those storms are going to sweep on through. So Mattoon, Charleston, probably going to see some wind come on through from this and even points to the south. And we'll stay with you on digital through the night as far as it goes. Jack, that tornado warning, I think the timing on it
is we've got a minute left on it.
A minute left on that there. So we'll kind of look at it. And then I think, Jack, will play that same game we did when it was issued.
Yep.
We'll stay here to make sure a new one doesn't pop for a little while longer. And if it looks like it's more of a wind threat, we'll let you watch your program. We may just stay till 8 o'clock, you know, not ruin I don't even know what show's on right now, but from 7:45 to 8, we may just stay here just to make sure and use that as our hard out if there's no new warning. So, Jack, real quick, check on that warning. Check what you're seeing. What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, so we've got our velocity up right now. And with the velocity, I don't know, I'm just not seeing as much, especially of our bright green winds. We've got some pretty bright red winds here, and what that means is that maybe it's all going one direction. We're maybe not seeing so much of that rotation anymore with winds coming in the opposite direction. So we might not be getting a lot of that rotation anymore. We might just be getting it going all in one direction. So we'll have to kind of wait and see how that goes. So 7:45 now. We have now lost that tornado warning. So for the time being here, we do not have it, so we're going to keep an eye on things here to make sure that they don't issue another one. We have more in the way of severe thunderstorm warned storms down to the south. You'll also notice, too, that all of these storms that we have currently, that are currently warned, those are all of the yellow variety, which means that they are all just standard thunderstorm warnings. Now, some of these do have some strong winds with them. We've got our some large hail with them. Bond, Macoupin, Montgomery County. That one's now changed to just a 1 inch in diameter hailstone with 60-mile-per-hour winds. This middle one here, this one's still kind of the one that they've had an eye on with the larger hail size. That one's for Christian, Shelby counties, goes until 8:15. That one's got the 2 inch in diameter hail. That's one of the biggest hail sizes that we've seen so far of the night. And then the tornado warned storm that we've been watching now, which is just underneath a severe thunderstorm warning, has 60-mile-an-hour winds as well as ping pong sized hail with that one. So as of right now, we are still a few minutes out of 7:45. There has been no new warning issued in terms of any tornado warnings. But besides that, we're just going to kind of play the waiting game here for a few moments here. I know we've been on for a long time, but we want to make sure that if there are any new tornado warnings that do pop in, we're already here and we don't have to pop back in again. So some good news here. They have not issued anything just yet. I'm still kind of watching the National Weather Service chat that we've got access to, and they're not really saying anything right now, which is sometimes it's a good thing. But we're going to keep just on here a few more minutes longer just to make sure that nothing else comes from it. If it would be, right now I would say that our primary issue with these storms is going to be more of that, more of the hail threat now. That seems to be kind of a big issue with these storms is the hail threat. So I'm just kind of recycling here some of my views to make sure that I can get back to them and jump back to them pretty fast. The storms that we have right now, Sullivan right now is the one that's got some of the larger hail, and at this point now it's pretty small. That was the one that had the tornado warning with it that now does not have it. We've got nearby the Nokomis Audubon area. There is actually a very small little hail core there, but it's producing some bigger sized hail, and that is in the far portion of Montgomery County. And then there are also some little hail spots down into Macoupin County as well. But as of right now, we are still just looking at right now just some severe thunderstorm warnings currently with it. Jacob, got some more stuff here to show?
Yeah, I just want to take a regional view here of those alerts and whatnot. We've got that severe thunderstorm watch until 9 o'clock. That's in place. These yellow polygons are severe thunderstorm warnings. Again, they're irregularly shaped because we don't issue warnings based on counties. We issue it based on area now. That's one of the great things we can do. So it's far southwestern Douglas, northwestern Coles, much of Moultrie and northern Shelby with a severe thunderstorm warning. That's over Sullivan, pushing to the south and east towards Mattoon eventually. We've got another one, southeastern Christian and Shelby County. That's going to include areas heading to the east from Pana, eventually making its way towards Lake Shelbyville, Windsor, and maybe eventually Strasburg, Stewardson. We'll have to watch that. Then we've got Macoupin and Montgomery County right there that we're keeping an eye on. And one thing, just so you know, Jack, just so you're aware, I can't get the chat anymore. I've lost it, so you'll have to kind of watch, and you can ask them if you want. Say, hey, what are your thoughts and whatnot? And maybe you've done that, and we'll get an answer here and be done with this in 11 minutes. That'd be really nice if we can wrap up an hour early and kind of relax for the rest of the night, at least for tornado concern. But still, with these storms, big hail. We got some of those $50, and one storm was 2-inch hail. That's the size of a hen egg. And you don't know what that size is. Get an egg out of the fridge and whatnot as far as it goes. So Macoupin, Montgomery, Christian, Shelby, Moultrie, Coles, Douglas County, still severe thunderstorm warnings. I think we can say all clear for Macon County at this point. The storms have pushed out. There still is the watch in place. We're going to keep it for Champaign and Vermilion for a little while longer, but we've dropped it. DeWitt, Logan, Menard, Sangamon, Morgan, and Cass counties no longer under that severe thunderstorm watch, and hopefully by the time we get to 9 o'clock, that is, we won't have to extend it. There's no watch for Clark or Cumberland or Effingham or Jasper or Crawford. And what may be happening as we lose the heating of the day is that we may very well be losing some instability as far as it goes here. And so that's something that we're going to watch and see. Maybe that plays in our favor as far as it goes. Jack, before I send it to you, and I have a feeling that Lauren's going to talk to you in a second, maybe, let's just kind of switch over and I'll take a look at the radar scope in my phone and kind of scope out some of these areas and whatnot. Another way we can look at it, and you can get this app yourself, Radar Scope. It's a great app to have. We've got that severe thunderstorm warning. I'm looking now for circulations, those greens and reds to come together. There's a weak one, maybe not worth the warning, maybe Allenville, somewhere in here. Something's, lightly spinning as far as it goes.
What they did is they've now modified the warning polygon, and so it's Coles, Douglas, Moultrie, Shelby, but there's now a tornado tag possible with it. So that's the warning that we've been watching. So it's definitely more elongated. In fact, if we could maybe take this full screen, it might be a little bit easier to see. But this is the new warning that has the new trimmed warning, essentially what's happened here. And so now it's got the tornado possible tag on it. So it's still not looking that good with our velocity, but it's maybe something a little bit there, like Jacob's trying to pick up on. It also might be too just to be safe. They may have issued it this way just to be safe. So that's what just wanted to bug in and let you know about that.
No, I'm glad you did. Again, the tornado possible tag, it's a relatively new thing in the last number of years that the National Weather Service can do. Instead of issuing a tornado warning, they issue a severe thunderstorm warning. And what they do is they put this possible tag on there, and that's to signify that they're monitoring it. A tornado is not immediately likely, but it may very well be possible still moving forth. So it's kind of the initial step before a tornado warning. It's a really great thing they've added here. Again, that is for this circulation in Moultrie County. It's broad. It doesn't look all that good. Lovington, we're giving you an all clear. Dalton City, all clear. Bethany, will give you an all clear. There's still some rain and wind probably, but as a severe part of the storm seems to be Sullivan down to Allenville, north of Windsor, the north side of Lake Shelbyville. Here's Gaze. They got the two-story outhouse down there. We got Mattoon, Humboldt, Arcola. The wind coming on that way as far as it goes. I do want to show a little bit more to the south because we're going to watch for Pana, Tower Hill, Shelbyville now. We haven't really talked much about you. We get a chance to now that we're just dealing with severe thunderstorm warnings. This here from Shelbyville, we're kind of seeing some wind. I don't really see much in the way of circulation. There's nothing tight coming together. The other thing we're fighting is that we're getting further and further away from the radar in Lincoln. Still a great view, but not as good as it was in Macon and Sangamon counties. But what I do note here is you kind of see some of these light shades. Maybe there's weak circulation aloft there, and that may be enough to help with some hail support as far as it goes. You know, you get a little circulation. You don't always have to talk tornadoes, but sometimes that rotation aloft can help with hail. And I think that, Jack, I think that had the 2-inch hail size with that one. So we'll just kind of watch and see with this particular product. And then, of course, down into Montgomery, Macoupin County, quick mention, Litchfield South, that severe thunderstorm warning. Our friends in St. Louis handling that. I'll do one last check here in the radar scope. And again, it looks more linear, but there's still some noticeable clusters here that we have to watch and a little more isolated. And as I look at this, Jack, I kind of get the idea that while we're watching this here, yeah, there's some hail, but I get the idea that it's kind of separating itself.
Yeah, and there still might be some kind of notchiness to them too.
A little bit. There's your inflow notch maybe, so we may not be done yet, and that may preclude us from getting out of here at 8 o'clock. I don't know what's on TV, and if this is looking like it's going to ramp up again, given the tornadoes we have, I don't know if I really care that much, because we're going to be with folks at this severe weather as far as it goes. So we're going to watch that. We got about 6 more minutes, Jack, to watch and to keep an eye on it here. Of course, still, there's probably some hail right there north and west of Mattoon. I think in that, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't Cook Mills up that way? Is that?
Yeah. We got. We're gonna go to Mark Maxwell here. He's in Sullivan. He's got a just fantastic shot going on. If you guys want to send it to Mark, he may not be able to hear me very well with the heavy rain and the thunder and lightning. But Mark, if you can hear me, thanks for being a trooper for going out there and take it away.
Yeah, Jack, we're here on Highway 121, about smack dab between Bethany and Sullivan. Just as Jacob was defining a moment ago, it doesn't appear that, well, we are seeing some strong heavy winds, rain that is as well. I also want to share, if you can spot this, if you can make it out in this picture, I want to show you just the sunset as the last bit of color is coming behind us here. It is a beautiful look, but we've been tracking some of these different storms in very low-hanging clouds all the way through here along this road coming south of Decatur as we tried to follow this. We saw that sort of auburn or burnt color that kind of was on the underbelly of these clouds hovering all the way through here. It was a strange color in the sky throughout part of that. I'm not exactly sure what that might tell us, but we're seeing that along the way here. Some thunderstorms, a lot of lightning just sort of crackling through the sky here at this scene as the thunderstorms continue. But again, we were sort of heading southeast through Moultrie County, and this is what we've come across here. I wanted to give you a look at the highway. Some cars are pulled over under bridges and overpasses trying to take shelter. A few emergency vehicles out along the road, but only a very scarce few signs of some shingles blown off with some heavy winds, but nothing major to report that we've been able to see from our vantage point. But Jacob and Jack, wanted to send it back to you just to give you an idea what it looks like rather here from the ground level.
We'll double box, Jack and I.
Thank you very much for that report, Mark. Really appreciate it, and stay safe out there as you were just in an area that did have a tornado warning. So just be safe, but you're in a good spot now. Most of the activity is now past you. Doing a good job. So thank you for that. We still do have, for the next 4 minutes, a severe thunderstorm warning that still has that tornado possible tag with it that's now going into the area. In fact, what we should do is we should take our view from our Skycam. Our Flooring America camera from Casey Summers looks amazing with our with that shelf cloud coming on through. I wouldn't mind you guys even taking it full screen. Looks good. And you've got the nice well-defined shelf cloud. You've got the striations within the cloud there. Definitely gives it that UFO appearance. You've got the lightning strikes in the background. So that's a very good-looking shot as that's coming into the Mattoon area there. We still do have just, and the reason why there's probably a tornado possible tag with it is that there is still a little notch with this severe thunderstorm warning. The hail is also there as well. But that still is going to be the one to watch here. Again, also don't want to forget, too, we've got Christian and Shelby counties. They have a 60-mile-per-hour wind as well as 2-inch in diameter severe thunderstorm warning down there until 8:15. And then until 8:30, Bond, Macoupin, and Montgomery counties. So Macoupin and Montgomery in our viewing area for 60-mile-per-hour winds as well as 1-inch in diameter hail. But that is a great-looking view. This is a camera that we can't move, so this is going to be it. But totally fine. It looks very good there. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Clark, Coles, and Edgar County that goes until 9 o'clock for 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1-inch in diameter hail size, and there's also still the tornado possible threat there. So maybe what we're going to do here is we're going to stand it for a little bit longer because sometimes with storms like these, we can still get, especially with the setup that it's had. But what we might end up doing is after a little bit, we might actually come back and forth in and out of coverage to potentially to provide any quick updates here. Because I know there's no tornado warning right now, but with the tornado possible threat within a severe thunderstorm warned storm that has had a history of producing tornadoes, it still could potentially do that. But just give us a few more minutes to kind of work on that idea. In the meantime, though, we'll bring it back to the dual box here with the Skycam. And again, just you can see that just amazing view of that storm as it's coming into the Mattoon area there as it's approaching 57. You're going to have some heavy rain with this storm. You're going to have some strong winds with it too. I'm going to turn the lightning on. Just a ton of lightning with these storms as well. And so we're really noticing, actually, yeah, lightning strikes have actually kind of come down a little bit more. But you can see with the loop there, and it actually kind of makes it almost easier to see with the lightning strikes. It's kind of been moving more off to our southeast. It's kind of been turning more and more to the right. But just a great looking shot there of our Casey Summers Flooring America iNet camera as it does approach in. You've got on the bottom of it, we've got the striations there of the shelf cloud. And so I think what we'll do here is, and Jacob, you can back me up on this one. Maybe we terminate on TV for a little bit and see kind of what happens.
We'll do that here. I know folks are, the danger is not as high as it was earlier tonight, but what we should do, Jack, is maybe let's just talk about where the storm's heading real quick.
Yep.
And then we'll jump out of TV and give folks a chance to get their apps and get their social media online and do that way. So I'll go ahead and just kind of jump on the green wall here and use that to kind of show who's in, who's out, because the Sullivan County side of things no longer an issue here. We're watching this storm right here. This is velocity, and I think maybe, Jack, if you're driving it for me here, we'll kind of zoom out. This is still that red outline is a tornado possible tag. That's the one storm. There's another storm here in Shelby County. It doesn't really look as good as it did earlier to me either. Maybe we're losing some instability as far as things go. They still got it warned for 2-inch hail though, but I'd like to suggest that maybe what's happened is either the storm, if it's weakening, all that hail aloft just dumps out somewhere as it weakens. And then of course this storm here in Montgomery County, that's going to be our friends in St. Louis that are handling that. They'll handle it for Fayette County too, but if it turns into an Effingham problem, of course, we're going to be on digital as far as it goes. So Jack, real quick, let's talk about who's in, who's out. Right here's Mattoon. There's downtown Mattoon. Here's Sarah Bush Medical Center. There's Charleston. You got the Coles County Airport right here. Down here you've got Lakeland College. There's the windmill and the interstate as you drive on by. There's Neoga. Up here is Humboldt. This is going to include Humboldt, Mattoon, Charleston. It's going to include the 4-lane that goes by the airport to Charleston. Eventually downstream then, Martinsville and Paris are in the path of that. That'll be northern Clark and southern Edgar counties with that warning there. So you see Paris, this might pass to your south there. I think that's Route 1. Route 1 and kind of comes in here, and 150 shots off towards Terre Haute. May come there by 9 o'clock or so, but in particular, yes, this storm will be coming into Mattoon. Yes, it will be coming into Charleston, still with a threat for some quarter hail, but more than likely the wind is what I'm more interested in here. We'll watch this. It's not overly strong. It doesn't look like anything as it did before. And up by Cook's Mills, coming into the west side of Mattoon. Moving off to the east there, it's just a severe thunderstorm warning as far as it goes with the tornado possible tag. So I think at this point, we're staying with you on digital, Mattoon and Charleston. By this point, jump on over to the app, live stream on Facebook, on Twitter. We're going to stay with this and use production to kind of help us with this online, and then we'll kind of organize some TV cut-ins the way it looks here, and that way we can keep an eye on it. But we're going to watch that camera as well, and you probably have a good view of it out your window to the west there in Mattoon, even in Charleston, parts of central Coles County, eventually off to the east. The lightning's going to be impressive. You do not want to be outdoors with this as far as it goes, and so that's what we'll do. So again, it's 8:02 right now. We're getting ready to kind of walk away. Ooh, look at that, Jack. That's impressive.
Yeah, it looks
what
good.
You're looking at is the shelf cloud here, but then you see this rounded off area carrying up. I mean, it almost looks like a spaceship coming in to Mattoon. The lightning really impressive with there. Off in the distance, that wind. That's quite the shot there, Jack, isn't it?
It sure is. It sure is. So we've got 8:02 right now. I think we've done what we need to do for us on CBS. Oh, we did.
How about that? That's why we stay, folks.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Mattoon, Charleston, this is for you. Tornado warning now, Coles County. You got the notice in your WCIA 3 weather app right now for this storm right here. We're looking at it. So tornado warning now for the city of Mattoon, the city of Charleston. If you've got someone in Eastern Illinois University, you got a student there. I don't know. They may be on break. I'm not a college student anymore. I haven't been one for a while, but that area is under that warning as far as it goes. And so, Jack, we're gonna keep this camera shot up here, and we're gonna let you talk a little bit more about where it's going, where the path is with that double box we got there. So, Jack, talk about who's in, who's out, where this is heading.
Yep. So we've got again Coles County for this tornado warning. It goes until 8:30. So you've got unfortunately stick with us for another 27 minutes, but we've got. You know, it does look pretty good now with our velocity. This is things kind of spun back up around here. And so you've got your bright reds mixing with some green right by it. And as we kind of like loop it around a little bit, it definitely got a little bit tighter as it came in there. So that's going to be the reason why we have a new tornado warning for this. And it's going through another major area within our viewing area. We've had Springfield under the gun for tornado warning. We have Decatur under the gun for tornado warning. And now we have Charleston, Mattoon area under the gun as well. So this has gone through a number of our bigger cities in our viewing area. And luckily we've had the opportunity to be able to look at these on our weather cameras, our Flooring America iNet clutch today. We've got some pretty bright lightning there, Jacob, that just popped up there. And
at this point, Jack, I think we're going to watch if there's something down. This camera angle is going to give us a fantastic shot if there's any blue flashes. We'd be looking for power flashes as well. Mattoon, you got to get to shelter right now. To the north, they got that new exit a couple of years back where the that's tightening up there, Jack. That exit where the industrial park is north of Mattoon up towards Humboldt. You got to get into shelter. Charleston, you got to get to shelter right now. Areas from Mattoon, Charleston, Sarah Bush Medical Center. If you're there, we've got to get you to your shelter place. They'll be taking their protocols to protect patients, the nurses, the staff, and the doctors there. The airport is under this, but Mattoon, you're out of time as this coming in your direction, Jack. So I'm going to get a push alert, check with some sources, and then we'll let you do a little more coverage, and then we'll keep watching the storm as it moves on through.
Yep, so we've got if we can bring it back to me, we've got 8:09 for Lafayette for a track on here. Charleston 8:22, Ashmore 8:38, Kansas at 8:46, and Martinsville 8:56, just based on where I've put our track there. So that's going to be some of the areas that are going to be impacted by this storm as it comes on through. The Mattoon area, I didn't label that one, but obviously it's there because the storm itself is, as you can see on our camera, also right there as well. We've got more in the way of some raindrops hitting the lens too. The rain is now picking up there. I've not seen any power flashes. I've seen lightning strikes. But that storm is now, as you can see, kind of overtaking our camera. We don't have as much in the way of the high contrast blue skies behind it. That camera is becoming darker and darker as that storm comes on through. You're going to have some heavy rain with this one. Hail size too, also going to be coming in right into town as well. And just looking at our weather camera there, it's Casey Summers. It's a dealership. Hail and cars do not go well together. I know that firsthand. So we just need to make sure that you're away from windows as well as this comes on through. And it's still moving to the east at around 30 miles an hour. So it's once again not a very fast-moving storm. None of these storms have been fast movers, but it's got enough rotation in there that picked back up to have issued a new warning with it. So that's why we're watching it through there. Still just a few lightning strikes, not seeing anything in the way of a blue color just yet, but the lights are still on there in the city. Got another cloud-to-ground lightning strike there that just happened on the side of the screen there. So Mattoon, Charleston, locations within and around the Coles County area, getting closer to even Ashmore, be in your safe spot. We've got the tornado warning still continuing until 8:30 right now. Jacob, you got anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to update again. The new update just came out. This, hey, golf ball size hail. You mentioned that, Jack, where we saw that hail here as far as it goes. That's that circulation, that red color moving away from radar. The winds, likely some rear flank downdraft winds also coming to Mattoon. Strong winds are going to be likely here. As we look, though, at this particular storm in Coles County, this is mainly Cooks Mill to the south towards Mattoon. If you're in Mattoon, Cooks Mill, Humboldt, you got to be in shelter now. Mattoon in particular, a little worried about that here. And I'm just pulling up some other data here while I'm watching that, Jack. So hang on one second. I do that here. The other warnings, real quick, while we're down there, we've just got severe thunderstorm warnings for Shelby County and severe thunderstorm warnings for Montgomery County. That is not as much of a concern for us right now here. In fact, I think for the most part, the Shelby County storm, look how it really weakened right there. Probably not going to be an issue for Shelbyville. They've got some rain and storms there now. They're going to keep it out of abundance caution. Montgomery County, you're watching St. Louis's now. We're here for Coles County, and we're staying with you as far as it goes. So let's zoom in here, Jack, and get real close in and break it down for where this circulation is. What we're looking at is this is the core of the storm right here. Here's Dorrance. There's that industrial park right up here. You get off at the new exit they built a few years ago. You can take the industrial spur or expressway, whatever. You're in that area. You know what I'm talking about. To get to a lot of those factories and facilities on 45. Here's Highway 45. There's 121, takes you off to the north and west back towards Sullivan. There's Highway 16, takes you down to Shelbyville. Here's Highway 16, then to Charleston. We've got Loxa. We've got Charleston there. 130 goes north. That takes you up to the north. Eventually you get into Champaign with that. The hail, big time, right here over the northern part of Mattoon and north of the airport. There's the airport, there's the medical center. If this tornado is down, it's very much going to be right over darn close to Mattoon and the exit there. You know, they got you get off there, there's like a hotel and a Steak and Shake and some other things like that. Very much heading in that general direction as far as it goes. Lakeland College sits right down here. There's some apartments there, might be some students. The good news is Lakeland College not included in the warning. It will stay to the north. You got a heck of a view, though, if you're looking off to the north there. If you're in the city of Mattoon, though, we want you in shelter. We want you in shelter in Charleston. Humboldt, give us a little more time here. Even at Cooks Mill is a little more time because that circulation, Jack, a little more concerning here as far as it goes. These storms pulsing up and down, going a little weaker, going a little stronger as far as it goes here. And if we really look on in here, to the region, really that storm is going to be darn close to that exit north of town, coming into the north and east side of town. Hopefully, if there's anything down, it's just north of town, but it's too close for comfort for the city of Mattoon. We're with you here. We're following this for you. You're going to get some strong winds and heavy rain. If we can bring that camera up full screen real quick as well, just to see it real fast. I want to take another view. I don't need to be in front of it. I just want to show you how the clouds have moved overhead. There's going to be some lightning. There you go. There's some lightning off in the distance there. We're not going to get to see much, if anything. At this point, the sky winning out, the sun going down. So it's going to be hard to really tell if there's anything there specifically tornado related. One of the things we may get a report is if there's some power flashes or things like that, we'll be able to find out. But we're losing the advantage of daylight with this particular storm here as far as it goes. So we're watching it closely. We're keeping you updated on that. Just one warning. That's for Coles County. And Jack, as I check another source here, I really think that hail threat, it may miss Mattoon. We can bring me back here. It may miss Mattoon, but it's going to come for Charleston if it does anything with that hail across the region as it does so. So we're going to watch it closely. And Jack, you've got another update on that hail.
Yep.
And we're going to keep an eye on it here. This one storm, it's too close for comfort for Mattoon, the tornado, but the hail might be another big story for this too.
Just off to the north of town there, just to the north of Mattoon is where we have that hail core, and so it might just miss town to the north, but the direction it's going towards might be heading towards Loxa as well as Charleston. So right there along 16, north of 16 is where we're going to have this storm getting very close there as it goes in towards the Charleston area, and maybe we'll see what our first mid-weather camera looks like. Jacob, if you want to try to bring that one up and see the Charleston camera, that one might be a little bit different looking, but still a great shot from Mattoon as that one is now approaching and is basically over the city right now. We're going to try to change our camera up to see if it looks any different. Just dark, and we've got some lightning strikes obviously, but
Jack, do you have the chat up by chance?
I do, yeah.
It's back. I just heard that noise.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was anything.
It's just a continued severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible for Clark, Coles, Edgar counties until 9 o'clock.
Okay, what I'm going to do, Jack, is I'm going to put the Mattoon camera on the weathermetrics of the Skycam so Back can have it, but I'll put the Charleston camera on your computer there so you can access that. We'll do that and keep watching this very closely.
Yep, so we've got still a larger severe thunderstorm watch around it. That was what just kind of beeped there, if you could hear. It goes until 9 o'clock. Clark, Coles, Edgar counties until 9 o'clock for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and as well as golf ball size hail, so 1.5 inches. Tornado possible with these, and we'll still put that coming in at around 30 miles an hour because that's been the overall speed of these so far. And cities that would be impacted by this warning would be Lafayette at 8:13, Charleston potentially 8:28, Hutton at 8:39, Ashmore at 8:44, and then 9:01 in Martinsville. Just keep an eye on things here as we go down the line with these storms, as it still continues to move off to the east at around 30 miles an hour, 30, 35, kind of somewhere in there. The reflectivity has been showing that we've got maybe a little bit of the inflow notch here still, trying to show up a bit. Our velocity, it's still showing there. It's not as intense as what it was a few scans ago, so we might be kind of losing it a little bit there. But still, nonetheless, though, a storm capable of producing a tornado, it's still the same cell. It's still the same cell that's produced all these warnings over the course of the afternoon and now going into 8:15.
It's been a long night.
It's been a long night. It's been a long night. We do expect these storms to move off more to the southeast direction, we're thinking, the east-southeast direction. So it would be definitely south of Arcola and locations like that. So this is definitely going to be more of a Coles, Edgar, Clark issue from here on out. And hopefully it continues to weaken. That latest scan did show a little bit of some weakening there with it. We still do have our warnings for severe thunderstorms back off to the southwest. We actually have another just minute left over of this Christian and Shelby County one that was for 60 mile per hour winds as well as 2-inch hail. That one's gone. And now we have until 8:30 this one here for Montgomery County in the southern part of the county there for 60 mile per hour winds as well as 1.5 inches hail. So Jacob, we've got some more updates there, just kind of the wide view with our watches and our warnings on it. What do you have for us?
Yeah, we're watching this one storm, the one tornado warning in Coles County. It's been the storm of the day. We thought we'd get one, and here it is. And thankfully, we've only had to deal with one. But it's been all the way from Cass County through Menard, Sangamon County, came here west of Decatur, and then turned to the right. And sometimes when they do that, that means they're not done. And that's why we've got this tornado warning for Coles County. Next in line, Clark and Edgar County. And we may just have to follow this all the way out of the area. Now, notice, Jack, they did extend the severe thunderstorm watch for Clark, Cumberland, Effingham, Jasper, and Crawford County here, and that's mainly because we're thinking the instability just high enough to keep it a little bit more for us in the area. Coles County, specifically now Charleston, we're talking to you. You got to be in your safe place. You got to be in, down, and up. Basement, interior hallway, closet, interior bathroom. Leave your mobile home. You got to be out of that. Can't be in there. If you're driving now, not the place to be. We've seen folks driving on our camera network out there. Go to a sturdy structure. Get in, get down, cover up and stay until all clear. We'll give you that, and we're soon going to give the all clear to Matt Toon, but we're going to wait a little bit. You're probably watching on TV. Turn that TV up, but you can also join us on the digital apps as far as things go, and that's the way that we're going to do things here. Jack, I'm going to do a little analysis here while you're kind of figuring some things out, it seems like, in the back.
Have come in.
Say it again?
We got some pictures that have come in from the Dorrans area, which is going to be pretty close to some of the mornings that we've had earlier. This is from Abby, and this was from in the Dorrans area. You've got the low-hanging clouds, and if I believe, I'm just going to stand a little closer to the images to see.
You know, that shot, it looks a little more, you kind of see in the left side more of the updraft, and the right side a little more of, I mean, that's a impressive looking storm.
Yeah, that's the potentially its new wall cloud, and then this is from the north of Dorrans. Also from Abby there, a great looking shot, kind of more of a wider shot where you can see more of the top of the clouds there, the nice striations within the circulating storm there, and the shelf cloud down at the bottom. Beautiful picture. We love getting these pictures in. It helps to portray what we're saying on TV. And again, we're still going to be on this storm here for the next, at the very minimum, 13 minutes as it goes through Coles County. Charleston now coming in under the gun with this storm as it comes on through. There's been more and more lightning strikes on our first mid-weather camera on our Flooring America iNet. So definitely want to be in your safe spot if you live there. And in Matt Toon, still be there as well. Your threats are kind of diminishing as this storm moves off to the east, but we're not done just yet to say that just yet.
Yeah, and we'll keep that camera full for just a little bit here, Jack, before I do a little more analysis in the radar. You kind of look in the lightning off in the distance there. You can see some of those rain curtains coming on in. I really think Charleston, even if maybe there's not a tornado now, you're about to get some hail. So that's something where this storm may be doing a little more of that and a little less of a circulation. But still, we can't rule it out. We're pulsing it up and down a little bit as far as it goes. So we'll go ahead and bring me full screen, and then in a little bit, once we talk more, we can double box and keep that camera up, because Jack, I think we're going to see kind of an impressive shot there as this comes on in. Here's your hail core. This is the highway from Matt Toon to Charleston. It carries you on in. Lots of folks get off at I-57. They go to the east. They pass the Coles County Airport. They pass Sarah Bush Medical Center. They come into Charleston for EIU. Some big hail probably coming there into Charleston based on what we're seeing here. If there's a circulation, it's going to be darn close to over town here. Charleston, you're out of time. Matt Toon, I want to say as far as the tornado goes, we'll give you an all clear, but you're not done with rain and storms for the night here. Pretty much it seems like along and west of I-57 in Coles County, Humboldt, Mattoon, Cooks Mills, still rain. Still maybe some hail, but this particular storm, the tornado threat, now more off to the east there as it goes. And so really we're watching on Charleston's doorstep here. You carry that off to the east a little bit more. You get past Charleston, you go by Charleston High School on the east side there. You come to Ashmore this way. You can go to Hutton that way. You come towards Casey. There it is at the bottom of the screen. And we'll keep that eye on things as far as it goes. Now, as far as the circulation goes, it may be not quite as impressive. And we can go ahead and double box here, because I think we're about to see a more impressive shot before all is said and done. I can talk about it a little bit. That circulation maybe not as tight over Charleston, but still, with a tornado warning, we want you to shelter. If anything, I'd like to think that the circulation itself may be a little more back to the west of Charleston. I mean, it's somewhere in here. It's not as obvious, and that's okay. We don't have to have it be obvious to know that there still is some spin, but likely still enough rotation where Charleston, we want you in your shelter. We want you in that safe place. Mattoon, Humboldt, over towards the north and west. I want to say we can give you the all clear as far as that goes. Now, I will say, Jack, and in a minute, I haven't gotten it on my phone yet. Sometimes the data comes in a little slower. There is a new severe thunderstorm warning that includes parts of Shelby County that's going to pop in. And correct me if I'm wrong, there may be a tornado possible tag on that.
It will, yeah. We're waiting for a picture of from Charleston here, so we're going to get the all clear here in just a few minutes, or not the all clear, but show you this picture that we're going to get here just a few minutes. But so here it's coming up. This is the view from our picture that was sent in to us from Charleston, and just wait just a moment here, and we'll get it up. But it does show a potential tornado, and here it comes. So, yeah, so that's from Charleston, and you've got up in the top there. So you've got the brighter sky there with looks like a potential lowering in kind of in the middle there, right between those two trees.
That's definitely an interesting little feature.
Yeah.
You can get close to it too, Jack, and kind of peek. And my observation, maybe, but it could just be a very dense rain shaft as well. But the problem is we're getting dark and it's hard to see. It's suspicious enough where
Correct. Yep.
It may very well be, but we know regardless there's going to be some rain and some wind and maybe even the chance for a tornado. So we'll watch it closely. Jack, let's get some love to our friends to the south there because we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning at Strasburg, Stewardson to the east of Shelbyville. That's heading towards Neoga and Cumberland County. This one has a tornado possible tag on it too.
It does, yep. So this is the one that's that just was newly issued that goes until 9 o'clock. Coles, Cumberland, Moultrie, Shelby counties are in parts of this. For 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1-inch in diameter hail, and still has that unfortunate tornado possible tag with it. We just can't seem to get rid of that tonight with a lot of these storms. And this one again has got some vorticity with it, some rotation possible. So it's going again at around 35 to 40 miles an hour. Trowbridge potentially at around 8:31, Neoga Elementary School and Neoga at around 8:36 and 8:37, Trilla at 8:44, Neal 8:48, Cottonwood 8:54, Toledo just before 9 o'clock, Greenup if it holds together that long until 9:08, and then Casey at around 9:21 there. So we'll have to watch out and see how that one goes. But that is again tornado possible tag with that storm that's going through. And again, you know, we've got this tornado warning still, so we still have to stay on it. Really do appreciate everybody staying with us here. I know we've been on for a long time. We just got to make sure that we'll let people know what's going on. And these have gone through some big areas within our viewing area. We've had tornado warnings from west of Springfield already now down through Charleston, Mattoon. So these are big areas and a lot of communities, smaller communities in between. But there's a reason why we keep on going with it, and it's because the storm keeps on producing tornado warnings that we just can't ignore. We've got our view still from Charleston, and still have a lot of lightning strikes out of that. And it's going to be impressive here when it comes into town. I mean, it's the reflectivity's got it right over Charleston right now, and so pretty soon here, it's got to start raining here on our camera. Obviously, the pavement is wet, but I mean, pretty soon here, it's going to have to be just a torrential downpour.
I mean, that lightning is quite impressive there, Jack.
Yeah.
The warning for the tornado is still in place. They're saying at this point, the National Weather Service says a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado over Charleston. You're watching it live right now. There's indications it maybe isn't down, but that doesn't mean it won't happen real fast. But the other thing they mentioned is there may be some golf ball size hail. So Jack, we may get some shots of some hail falling in that camera shot right there.
Yeah, we got another picture coming on board here.
Oh wow!
This one is going to be
wow. Look at that. That's that impressive shot we were talking about.
So southeast side of Mattoon there.
Yeah, that's the grain elevators.
Over
when
the
you go
grain
around
elevators.
the curve on 57, you're going on the south and east side there. You're looking back to the north and west. Those lights are downtown. You know, downtown's got the Amtrak station and places like that. I mean, that's an impressive looking shot there, Jack.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's everything you'd want in a viewer submitted photo too. It looks fantastic.
And of course, we know the person went to their safe place immediately
her name
after.
is Haley who sent it in. Haley sent it in. So thank you, Haley, for that picture, for sending that one in to us.
So, okay, let's go ahead and talk a little more about radar here real quick, Jack. If you can drive it for me. We've still got the tornado warning right here for eastern Coles County. We gave you already the all clear for Cooks Mills and Mattoon, and the National Weather Service has followed up with that. However, Lakeland College, you're under that new severe thunderstorm warning with this storm off to the west. It's located over Strasburg. You've got Stewardson in the neighborhood there. Windsor, there's Gaze. This storm is carrying in that general direction. It may be a South Mattoon, Lakeland College, Neoga exit problem as it carries off in. And again, that tornado possible tag, rightfully so based on what we're seeing there. We're still going to focus on this Charleston storm here. You can notice how it was more of a line up here in Decatur, kind of lined out, and then this storm has raced out in front of it and kind of broken off there. That's what's helped this tornado potential. There's all this unstable air down here to the south, this humid air that's in place and allowing it to do so. So quick check here. If I had to peg the rotation, it's on the west side of Charleston right now based on this. That right there, it's weak It's still enough, though. Charleston, you got to be in your safe place, and I don't want to rule any part of Charleston out here, even off to the east and south. Hutton, you're next in line. No warning for you now officially, but you might think about getting to your safe place. You live east of Charleston. Eventually, you get out towards Kansas, Ashmore, in that general direction. The severe thunderstorm warning does exist, and there we are seeing that camera shot in Charleston right now. The rain coming down. We'll probably just keep that up for a little while here while we're talking about these storms. Let's show a little love here with the velocity on the storm in eastern Shelby County. That's kind of out by the lake, it seems there. A little bit to the east of that, I should say. Here's Windsor. Here's Strasburg. You got Stewartson further to the south. You can go south and get into Effingham on the north and west side. And what we see here is this kind of surge of the red. Red is going away. So the radar is up that way. The beam comes this way, and it can sample how the products it sample or how the targets it samples are going. So maybe we have some surging of wind right here. Well, what just happened about, was it a half hour, 45 minutes ago, Jack? We had some surging winds. We got that circulation on the north side here, so we're watching that closely. No tornado warning for Cumberland County, no tornado warning for Shelby County. We just got the storm over Charleston, but we may very well watch this one spin up a little more as it gets closer to Neoga. It seems like the last time we did that, we had to watch. Then something else I was noticing on mine, Jack, is you kind of look at these little spots in the line here. One by Cowden, and I want to see, there's an individual cell right there, Cowden-Herrick area. Another one north of Vandalia, that is on 51, an individual cell there. Another one south and east of Hillsborough. That one will come more towards Vandalia, north of Kaskaskia in Fayette County. These individual cells maybe are taking advantage of enough where enough spin in there. And if we can kind of pause real quick here, Jack, and look at these individual cells and pull that velocity up there, I noticed there was just a little bit right there, maybe a little bit there. Nothing overly concerning. Now, we're going to watch it, though. So we'll keep you updated, downstream if something were to happen where the storm's now north of Vandalia, near Ramsey, east of Ramsey, up towards Cowden and Herrick, towards Effingham. You've got Strasburg, Stewartson, Sigel, Neoga, and Effingham. That might come in that direction, but primarily still here to the warning for Charleston, and you can see that camera shot, Jack.
Yep, so we got more pictures first off, though, Jacob. We've got this one from Cecilia, I believe, and this one was from Mattoon. Yep, this is from downtown Mattoon. So you can see the shelf cloud going right over the town there. And you've got
and that circulation in that was probably wrapped up in rain at that point. So
yeah, so you're
not going to get a good vantage point of it anyways.
Yeah, that's a pretty good shot, but you could tell that it was about to rain here and probably any moment after that picture was taken. Our Charleston first mid camera, it's got just torrential downpours currently going on it right now. I do want to just punch it back over to Mattoon just to see what it's doing there.
Yeah, you've got that on your computer, I think, if I did that right, I hope. Where they've got Charleston up, they've got the Skycam up, so what they might have to do is bring Max 2 up if you've got the Skycam there. Did I do that right, or did I?
Yep, oh yeah, so it's done raining in Mattoon. So you've got just a lot of the lightning flashes there, the pavement's wet, but you can clearly see the dealership and the lights are still on there. So, okay, just want to check.
Okay, Jack, if they can bring me up back on your computer, I want to take a look at, again, that storm in Coles County, because I have a suspicious feeling we're not done with for the night here. So we can get that up-close velocity imagery here and drop the warnings. We're going to do a little analysis. First off, the velocity, there's something kind of here, yeah, but right here, we were looking at that earlier. The other thing I've noticed, Jack, we can use the debris detector. I don't spot a tornado on that, but that can be used for more than finding debris. We can use that correlation coefficient, and I can see it on my GR product here in my computer. See these blues on the south side here? What may be happening is this may be some more inflow kicking on in. In fact, if I put my hand here, here's 130 Charleston. You take that around kind of in the Hutton area. If you're out there and you've got that wind blowing in, that may very well be a situation where we've got to watch it here, maybe trying to recycle. These storms have come up and gone down and come up and gone down. They've been like a seesaw as far as it goes. It looks like the tornado warning has dropped. It's 8:30 now.
Yep.
I don't know what you think, Jack, but maybe we need to stay with this a little longer, especially since Charleston likely getting some large hail. If we can look at the reflectivity from Lincoln there only, just to get a little view, you'll be able to see the notch on there. We're looking at all the radars. We just want to get the Lincoln one on there. There's a little bit of an inflow notch that's down there, right, to the south and west side of Charleston. So, if you can kind of get that up, maybe we can peek at it here. There we go. you kind of see right here that little bitty curve on the south side of Charleston. Where was that blue color we showed you? It was right down here. There's that curve in the road in 130 south of town. So maybe we're not quite done yet here. No immediate threat for a tornado. I don't know what you think, Jack. I mean, I kind of feel like at this point, whatever shows on, folks have only watched half of it. Maybe we just watch this for a little bit longer here just to make sure this doesn't pulse up like it did when it came into Mattoon, and we get it out of Coles County and pass it off to our friends in Terre Haute that are watching it here as far as it goes, especially with this storm here that's coming into Neoga as well. I think we'll have to watch it a little bit closer and then keep our eyes further down the line. But we're getting close to the end, Jack. I think that's safe to say here.
Yeah.
Again, that hail right there. And maybe we can get another check on the Skycam before we send it back to you, Jack, just to see if any of that hail is coming down. Just
heavy rain.
Still rolling.
Yep.
It looks like there's some rain there. I don't see anything on the ground. You usually be able to tell if it's hail. And if there is hail, it may be small hail as far as it goes. So there we go. I'm not seeing much. It looks like from what I'm seeing here and some of my products behind the scenes, that hail core may just be rolling in now even potentially.
Yeah, but it doesn't really look very impressive anymore.
No, not quite as much as it did earlier. So
it's just the may have kind of once it went through the kind of by Mattoon and Dorrance especially, it kind of pulsed up a little bit there by Charleston, but then it's not very impressive looking.
Well, that's good. We like to hear that. I think a lot of folks in Charleston that maybe had cars sitting out in the street be happy to hear that it got rid of all of its hail over towards Loxa, north of the airport, up towards the north side of Mattoon. So, Jack, take it away, do a little analysis here. We'll kind of figure out behind the scenes and see if the National Weather Service, what their thoughts are. The way the storm is, though, I'm still a little suspicious of it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I don't know yet. We still got to wait and kind of see. We'll keep it up going for a few more minutes, but the latest velocity scan didn't look to be too impressive anymore. I get that it's been pulsing up and down, but it's not been doesn't look as very good anymore. So that we'll take it from the cell center itself, going off to the east-southeast at around 30-35 miles an hour. Hutton at around 837, Parker 850, Martinsville at 857. 914 from Marshall, and then eventually gets into Indiana with Wabash there. So we're still kind of watching it as it goes off to the east-southeast. Might be passing just to the north of Casey right now. Still have to kind of see how it keeps on going with the latest scans because sometimes they're able to keep on turning more to the right, which is what's actually happened here. The storm was moving pretty much straight east. Then it has kind of curved down a little bit, especially once it got into Macon County by Decatur. It started to turn more to the southeast, and now we have it where it is right now, moving through the Charleston-Mattoon area. So still keeping an eye on things here. Not seeing any new chatter from the National Weather Service just yet. But our warnings go until, let me get those back up here. Our warnings go until 9 o'clock for the one that had the tornado warning in it, Coles, Clark, and Edgar counties, and also until 9 o'clock, Coles, Cumberland, Moultrie, Shelby counties. They are both now essentially identical warnings with 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1-inch in diameter hail size possible within those as well as also the tornado possible tag with those. Definitely, though, the northern storm is the stronger one. You can see with the reflectivity, you've got more in the way of the reds and even some of the purples showing up there. So that is going to be more of the stronger one, the heavier rain showers one, and also even potentially with the hail core too. Back off to the west, so Mattoon, Paradise down there, really just to the west of Neoga. That one's coming through, and then you've got more storms down to the southwest, but they have now lost their warnings down there. So we are left with 2 severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado possible tags on both of these, and they both do go until 9 o'clock. They just trimmed that one, so it still goes for 60-mile-an-hour winds. They upped the hail, and look at that. The tornado possible tag is now done with that one. That is good. That is good news there. So as it goes into portions of Clark, Coles, Edgar counties now as it leaves the Charleston-Mattoon area south of Ashmore and now moves closer to the Hutton area and eventually gets closer to Parker and Dolson and probably north of Martinsville. The actual warning storm itself gets very close there in Martinsville. As of right now, we don't have a tornado possible tag with it anymore, and the reason being velocity, yeah, it's just not what it used to be. So that's some good news there. The rotation just does not look to be as impressive.
That's good. We like
and so that's good. That's good. So if we can keep that going for a few more minutes here, I think maybe we might be able to do something here.
And I think we've said that a few times before, Jack, and look where that's gotten us here.
Keep jinxing myself.
Yeah, right. So maybe
thirsty.
not say that there. As far as it goes. Okay, I got some viewer pictures real quick, Jack, and then I'll run through some storm reports that have come on in here. This was taken near Allerton, looking towards Champaign. You can see the cloud cover here. It seemed like it stayed a little more cloudy to the north, and that may have prevented some of the stronger storms further up the line into Champaign, Danville area. And that's good, but it gave a little splash of color there in the sunset. That photo came from Jasmine. I got another photo. This is from south and east of Beement. Margie sent this on in. And you can see the picture itself. She's looking off to the storms that passed on by to the south there. Of course, Beement, we love Beement, and Kevin spent some time there. You can see the impressive looking cloud cover there across the region. Nice color with the way the sunset was coming down, too. Again, we still got 2 warnings, just severe thunderstorm warnings. We're probably getting ready to wrap up, it seems like. We'll do a little last-second radar check in a minute here, but that warning for Charleston, that storm really is cycled down here. The tornado possible tag continues in Shelby, northwestern Cumberland, Coles County. That's a severe thunderstorm warning. Still a storm there. That severe thunderstorm watch continues to get trimmed back, and really we're kind of from Mattoon, Charleston, Effingham to the south and east. A number of reports starting to filter in as far as the tornado goes. We had 5 reports for it here from Cass County, far northeastern Morgan County, and then north and east of Springfield by Mechanicsburg and Dawson. There was a report I saw that came across, Jack, where earlier tonight near Dawson, there were power poles that were blown down.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
And I think that was 3 miles west. Is that correct? Do you see that? That way in the back, our producers here.
Yeah. Yeah, that was from 612.
612. So by now, the electric company's probably gotten out there. And I think Sangamon County, I don't even think had any outage reports.
That last time I checked, they did not.
Yeah, so that's probably old. There's been a few hail reports in some of these isolated storms, but then things have looked a little more quiet. Of course, we've had Mark Maxwell out there watching things, and hopefully it stays that way. There may be some hail reports that trickle in late here and keep us updated as far as it goes. So, quick reminder here before we, I guess, toss it back, as I think we're thinking here. Is that correct, Jack?
Yeah,
Getting close to.
Yeah, I think we should try to do that. That way we can prepare ourselves for the 9 and
catch a break and.
Yeah.
Hopefully not jinx ourselves again. Remember, you can watch live on WCIA TV if there's a tornado warning active. We'll be right back here. We've been with you since 5 o'clock newscast here. Live stream, we'll keep the live stream going, it seems like, on the website and on the app as long as it's warranted. But if these storms continue to trend downward, then we may not even need to be there, and we may be done for the night before all is said and done. That watch only goes till 9. I don't know if the extension also included a time extension for areas to the south and east. But, you know, we'll keep an eye on it for you. No weather radio. Y'all have it down there in Coles County and whatnot where that mobile devices, your wireless emergency alerts have been a thing as well. And then I did just get a picture of some hail in Charleston. So I'm going to bounce to that real quick. This one came from, let me check. This came from Nathan Ward. And you can see that hail right there. And some of that hail looks like that's probably quarter size, if you ask me, Jack, as far as it goes. So maybe getting a little bit of hail in there from this storm.
Yeah.
So we'll pass that report on as well to the National Weather Service as far as it goes. So pretty much, again, have those ways to get alerts. If there's anything new, you'll get the push alert first on the WCIA 3 weather app as we watch these storms continue to hopefully be done for the night, Jack.
Yeah, it's just a quick little thing here. The severe thunderstorm watch for the additional counties, Clark, Clay, Crawford, Cumberland, Effingham, Jasper, Lawrence, Richland counties, actually does go until midnight.
Extended to midnight. Was that a new watch or just a local extension?
That came an hour ago. We probably missed it when we were.
I saw the counties were added. I didn't realize there was a time extension.
So we'll keep poking at things here and looking at things, make sure that we've got it. But I think we're going to be all right here. I mean, obviously, if stuff pulses back up, you know where we'll be. We'll be right back on. But I think just to get ourselves kind of ready to go here for the newscast, I think we might be able to just to
toss it
sign
back.
off. Yep.
You know, we'll watch that storm near Neoga. Maybe there's a little bit of rotation near Paradise. That's probably what they're watching. More than likely, though, I don't think that's the case. And Jack, if you wanted to check that on yours, or I can check that on mine here. I just had it up.
There's still
just
some
very little. It's nothing that's overly impressive. But if there is something, you got Mattoon, Lake Mattoon down here, Paradise. I mean.
Yeah.
It's not a lot to look at, but it's enough where we'll be here behind the scenes, just kind of keeping an eye on it as far as it goes. So we'll watch it if something does happen.
Yep.
Jack and I'll be here.
So just like the Oscars, the music's playing here, which means it's our time to be done. Really appreciate everybody watching in. Hopefully you were able to stay safe this evening as these storms came on through. We're going to keep on going here on social media, and then we'll bring you the latest for 9 and 10. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your evening.
All right.
Hold on. Just, yeah.
If y'all are watching the app, we're going to get things set here. We'll be on just in a minute. All right, everyone, we are on Facebook Live and the digital platform still. Here's Jack. Everyone say hi, Jack.
Back on.
And we're back on. Your mic's on. We're just going to give you a quick update here and wrap this up. So, Jack.
Okay. Let me turn my IFB off. I've got the news, the shows on. Okay, so we've got still our 2 severe thunderstorm warnings left over. We've got it for Clark, Coles, Edgar County until 9 o'clock, and then Coles and Cumberland County until 9 o'clock. Now, the one that we'd had the multiple tornado warnings on, that's got 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1.5 inch sized hail, so still some decent-sized hail. But the one for Coles and Cumberland County that goes until 9 o'clock, that one's got still that tornado tag, that tornado possible tag on it. So that's the one that still has the potential to maybe give us a little bit of a surprise. The thing is, though, it has still kind of yet to do that. We've got just a broad area of rotation right here, kind of by the, just north of the Neal area there. There's just kind of some broad rotation currently in there, little pockets here and there. But if we were to get anything to spin up, it would be essentially kind of in that location where that would be the case. But as of right now, there's been no confirmed tornado with it. In fact, it's not even a tornado warning. It's just the tornado possible. And you got more with the velocity here, just for some strong winds now with the tornado that did have with the storm that did have the tornado warnings on it before. So we've got it for portions of Clark, Coles, and Edgar counties until 9 o'clock. Got a lot of the reds there. That's the winds going away from the radar at this point. And these are a lot of it, which means it's very much a wind maker now at this point. It's definitely just gushing as well as gusting out of the storm itself. A little bit of some inbound rotation there, but it's not really a very much. And so that's just kind of where we're at right now. It's been a very active evening. I know that we blew through 2 different newscasts, a bunch of shows, the CBS Evening News, so we do apologize for that, but this is what we got to do every once in a while. We got to make sure that we bring you the information. And just one of the interesting days how these storms went from, and it hit a lot of our bigger cities in our viewing area, Springfield, Decatur, down to Charleston, Mattoon. So it's very interesting that it went and did it that way. And really once it got to Decatur, that's when it started to turn more to the right and was able to take more of a southeasterly turn. So that's kind of where we're at right now. The winds are still a threat. The hail, at this point, there's really not much hail left over. Our hail sizes and our hail cores are quite small to the north of Hutton, and then kind of near 57, just off to the north of Neoga on 57, south from Paradise. Pleasant Grove is pretty close to there as well. So there's really not much in the way of hail anymore with this either. So good news all around, as it used to be a little bit stronger. Kind of going back and forth there, you can see that the hail core has been there. It's dissipated. It's kind of pulsed back up, gone back down. But these pulses, when it comes back up, they seem to be weaker and weaker every single time. It's not pulsing up as much as it used to. The lightning with these are still very good. Turn those on really quickly here. And actually, lightning is now significantly lighter now. But this is basically kind of lined up now right along I-70. And at this point now, when it kind of looks more like this, it's a very, very much more of a, almost now an east-west line. It's still northeast to southwest, but what's happening now is it's going to be more of a training effect. And if that's what ends up happening, as essentially the line kind of becomes more like this east to the west, we're going to lose a lot of that severe threat with that. We're going to lose a lot of the ability for these storms to bring in the moisture to it, and these will then just begin to fizzle out. They've just not been able to strengthen south of here. Even though they're popping up, there's just not much in the way of strengthening occurring with those. We'll still keep an eye on things as we always do, but right now that is what we're looking at. Some of those might be a little closer to St. Louis down here, and there's no rotation with those down there. So the rotation that there's been has been across portions of the rotation has been up to the north with these storms. Jacob, you got something?
Yeah, if you don't want, Jack, I'm going to take it a little bit here, and I'll turn your mic off if you're right, just for a few minutes. You can get something ready for the show here that's coming up, and I'll kind of explain what I'm looking at more. Does that work for you?
Sure does.
Okay, so we've got your mic off, Jack, just for a little bit. As far as it goes, what I want to do is kind of show a little bit here what we're looking at. We kind of mentioned the rotations going down. Well, if you pull it up on radar, you look, what's going on right here? what's this? There's greens and reds next to each other. Here's the problem, though. We've got green going towards and red going away. That, to me, is almost looking like it's backwards, if that makes sense. So I'm not overly convinced that's the case, and then it's not really in a spot on reflectivity where, okay, maybe there's something there, but I haven't seen an indication that there is going to stay something with that as far as it goes. So we'll watch it and keep an eye on it. That other storm then coming in south of Mattoon, east of Neoga towards Toledo and Greenup. Yeah, okay, you could argue there's a little rotation in there, but okay, maybe something north of Toledo. In fact, we've dealt with that last time, but it's not nearly as strong as that one. So there is still a little spin in these, but it's not overly significant at this point. They have no tornado possible tag on the storm that's there in Charleston area. In fact, if I pull up the text real quick, still just some hail and wind, the main threats with that one, ping pong ball size hail. That may be pushing it a little bit here. And then you look at the storm that's coming in towards Greenup. That warning expires in 6 minutes. And 60-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-size hail. They still have the tornado possible tag, but at this point I'm not overtly worried about it at this time. Could something still spin up? Okay, maybe, but at this point I'm not really concerned about that. So here's what we're going to do. If you're on our digital platforms, we're going to cut it and give us 5 minutes here. Of course, if something happens, we'll jump on in. But we'll wrap it up. We're going to restart the Facebook Live for the 9 o'clock show, and that way we can give a live update there for our friends that maybe don't have TV. But if you have TV, you can watch us live on WCIX. That's something important to note that will be coming on. And then, of course, if a warning's issued, we will go with it. And so we're just going to watch that storm that's southeast of Charleston. And I think if it's Paris, you're good. It'd be more Marshall, Casey, Greenup at this point. We'll watch for you here. I know a lot of folks in Clark County, they watch us, but they also get Terre Haute, and we'll kind of play off that and see what's going on if something were to happen. So that's what we're going to do. So, Jack, if you want to, go ahead and be ready to hit the off button, and then we'll get the show set, and then we'll restart it at the 9 o'clock news. So thanks for joining us. Meteorologist Jack Gerfin, meteorologist Jacob Dickey right here for trusting us. We've been on the wall-to-wall and digital side since 5 o'clock, and then, of course, we've been on TV since 5. We got off the TV moments ago. Join us at 9 o'clock on WCIX News. We'll have updates for you then. In the meantime, hope you have a good night.